Should we do our kiss? Let's do our kiss. So this is, if you're listening on the podcast, go subscribe on the YouTube. PFT and I are going to do our annual kiss between our birthdays, so you'll have to watch it. You can't listen to it. Well, you can listen to it, but go watch it right now, and also subscribe to YouTube. All right, here it goes. 3, 2, 1. On today's Part of My Take, we have a twofer for the people. We've got our good friend Jimmy Tatro in studio. He flew into Chicago to come hang with us. And then we have our other good friend, Nick Wright, talking about the Chiefs. We figured we're going to be doing a lot of Eagles content, so we wanted to give a Chiefs fan a moment, and Nick is one of the best to do it, so it was an awesome interview with him. We're going to do Fyre Fest of the week. We're going to talk a little. Listen, it's the bye week before the Super Bowl, so maybe some national sports podcast stories, maybe a couple picks before we get to Super Bowl week. And it's all brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. This ain't the little itty-bitty, teeny, tiny bowl. This is Super Bowl 59. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Vince Lombardi Trophy, and you have a shot to score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code TAKE, that's code TAKE for new customers, to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TAKE. That's code TAKE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Today is Friday, January 31st. Happy birthday, PFT.
Happy birthday, Big Cat.
Happy birthday, PFT.
Happy birthday, PFT, because it's coming out for the birthday.
What day is it right now?
It is my birthday right now, but it's your birthday when people are listening to this.
How does being 40 feel?
I feel wiser than all of you. I feel smarter. No, I've actually been dreading it, and now that it's happened, it's like, just move on. I don't really like my birthday anymore. Birthdays kind of suck now. Just move on.
Did you get the finger in the butt yet?
No.
Stroke of midnight.
Right in the butt.
You have to do it.
Should we do our kiss? Let's do our kiss. So this is, if you're listening on the podcast, go subscribe on the YouTube. PFT and I are going to do our annual kiss between our birthdays, so you'll have to watch it. You can't listen to it. Well, you can listen to it, but go watch it right now, and also subscribe to YouTube. All right, here it goes. 3, 2, 1. Oh, my God.
You're poking me. Your mustache tickles. Spit in there, Daddy.
And that was our kiss.
Pretty good. I think that was our best one yet.
I think that was our best one yet.
Yeah.
Podcast listeners, you just have to leave it to your imagination, I guess.
Hank, how'd you feel about that?
It's gross.
Hank, it's two men who love each other very dearly, sharing an intimate moment on their birthdays. What's your problem, bro?
40-year-olds.
Guys can't care about each other anymore?
I don't like how Hank and Memes. I don't like their attitudes. Memes wants us to die. Hank just loves to comment about our age. Max is the only one who's got our back, because I think Max is just still so hungover from the case race. He doesn't even know where he is right now.
Yeah, he popped a blood vessel in his eye.
Oh, that's always a good one.
I spent pretty much all day yesterday puking, taking gummies, puking. Yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah. So, yeah, but we are 40. You're listening to us as 40. We're gonna move past it. We're gonna be fine. I don't like Hank's attitude or face or look or anything.
I think
can't exist.
Once I'm 40, I'm going to get in good shape.
Yeah. After the Super Bowl, I'm going to get in good shape.
Spring
after
break
March
abs.
Madness.
Yeah, I'm going to be jacked up by the time I'm 41.
Yeah. All right. National Sports Podcast. So this is always the weird week because it's like we haven't fully transitioned off football. Do the Saints finally have a head coach? Is it Kellen Moore? Mike McCarthy's sitting out a year, so he's just what do you think the people at Pro Football Focus said when they saw the alert that Mike McCarthy's sitting out a year, and they're like, "Holy shit, he's gonna re-up his subscription." Yeah,
he's gonna live with them.
Yeah,
I think they're in Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy's gonna move to Cincinnati and just spend a year farting and watching film and looking at a computer screen while somebody tells him what this cell means.
Yeah,
and he's gonna come back. He must have an idea of what jobs could open up next year.
Yeah, I guess, but
Maybe.
it also could it be the end?
No, he's taking a year off.
He's taking a year off.
Yeah.
So is it Kellen Moore though? Is Kellen Moore going to be the Saints head coach?
I think it might be Kellen Moore. Yeah, I think he's been doing he's been getting his staff together. He's been really focused on his interviews with the Saints. I think this bodes well for his chance of being hired.
Are we worried, Max, that Kellen Moore is thinking about the Saints and not the Eagles?
It is what it is. That's what happens in football. Sometimes if you're a good team, other teams are going to want your coordinators, and I'm not going to cry about it.
Okay. That was a really good answer.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good coach for the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a good football coach. It stinks that Jalen Hurts looks like he'll probably have his ninth offensive coordinator in 8 years.
That's a real
I like
stat.
that. Let's talk about Jalen Hurts the same way we talk about Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. He just keeps getting – maybe Jalen Hurts is just – he's the rainmaker. He keeps getting guys hired.
Yeah, he's too good.
He is too good. And then memes, you're just giddy about going to New Orleans. What's going on here? Memes laughed today.
It's Eagles week.
It's
Fired
Eagles
up.
week. That's
New Orleans is a very happy place.
does it feel like, Max, that memes is kind of stealing this from you, the Eagles week thing?
No, I would prefer it to be on him.
Okay. So it's Eagles
No,
week.
it's all about Max.
But it's your own. When you say it's Eagles week, are you saying that because you want more spotlight on Max?
No. I have a prediction that over the next week we're going to be very Eagles focused.
Yeah. For the record, I would be Chiefs focused too if we can get good interviews with Chiefs players.
Yeah, but the Chiefs don't really want to give us interviews. But we do have Nick Wright on today, who's very good, and he is a diehard Chiefs fan. So that we're trying, Chiefs fans. I know that they think it's slanted against them. We're trying.
It should be slanted against you.
Why?
Because fuck them. You get Chiefs Day.
Okay, you get Chiefs
Today
Day
is
and then
Chiefs
Eagles
Day.
Week.
Yes.
In Eagles Week. Okay. That's fair.
How are you feeling in terms of your confidence level, Max?
I can't get too worked up, and it's too early to get too worked up.
It's too early to get too worked up. That's
my answer.
I like that. That's a good answer.
Not worked up right now.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm calm, cool, collective.
And we do have a big interview coming on Monday, so get excited for everyone. We're going to have a big Super Bowl week. I'm very excited.
We got a lot of big interviews.
We got a lot of big interviews. Eagles week. Eagles week. Are you worried about one of the interviews and how much you love that person?
Don't do this yet.
Why?
Can't do this yet.
Why?
A couple.
But really the one on Wednesday, it feels like he's,
I'll give a hint. He's the brother of a player who's in the game.
This is what are we doing here?
I'll give another hint.
It could be Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah, it could be. It could be Jackson Mahomes.
Everyone knows I'm the biggest Jackson Mahomes fan.
Right. Yeah.
Philly Jacks.
It's going to be a big week. All right, so National Sports Podcast. I have a couple headlines I wanted to read to you guys. And then we are going to give one early prop pick for the Super Bowl. National Sports Podcast, though. Did you see Adam Silver floats the idea of a 10-minute NBA quarter? Windhorse fingers. That would be interesting that they'd make a 10-minute quarter right when LeBron retires, and then no one can beat any of his records.
That is interesting.
That's interesting.
Or it'd be interesting if they shorten the length of the quarters to help the older players in the league that are still around. Maybe a 1-year trial for the shorter quarters.
What do you think, Hank?
I think it would
Put
be.
your fingers up.
I think it would be bad for bench players. There would be less parity in the league, and there would just be, all the stars could play more minutes.
Yeah. But you got a lot of stars.
We do have a lot of stars,
Yeah.
but I think for league parity, it'd be bad. Unless
Okay.
they're going to add 2 more teams, I think, is my takeaway. If they do
Oh.
Where do you think they should go?
that. Vegas,
And Seattle. You got to say Seattle.
Seattle.
Give Seattle a shout out.
Fuck Seattle.
What? Why fuck
No, I
Seattle?
don't know. I used to have beef with Seattle.
What?
Bad sports
Why?
town. I forget. They call them bad sports town, and now people from Seattle don't forget.
So you started the beef.
Yeah, maybe.
Does this go back to the Super Bowl?
No, it was on the show. It was an offhanded comment that.
Oh,
people from
oh,
Seattle-
yeah.
It might have been during.
Maybe the Mariners.
Yeah, MLB playoffs.
Yeah, you just were like, fuck them.
When they had that one game playoff in the game that lasted like 18 innings.
Maybe that's what it was. Bad sports town. I
And
forget.
yeah, they got a home run mashed, and then you were like bad sports town anyways, right when they're at their lowest.
Yeah. Yeah, you just kicked them when they were down.
Whatever.
All right, so you're against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one big story, and then I had let's see.
I've got a couple other.
Yeah,
national sports
Wemby
here.
fed up with shoves and unfair lack of calls
Okay,
was another one. Wemby, you can't be upset this early.
it's not like the French to complain.
No, but you can't be upset this early. I also saw a stat, and
Let Pop do that. That's what Pop's job
Yeah.
is. It's like manipulate the media.
Yeah, he works the refs. I saw a stat. I don't have the exact numbers, but it was wild. It was a screenshot of the Sixers game last night, and it was.
Oh yeah, I saw that same stat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like Joel Embiid games played in NBA career, like 430 games missed, 400.
Oh, the one that I saw was how much money he's been paid to sit out.
Ah.
I think it was like 125 million or something.
But the Sixers are almost in the playoffs now, which I'm rooting for them to get there because I want the Bulls to be in the lottery. I think they're virtually tied for the Bulls for the 10th
You guys
seed.
are tied, yeah.
Yeah, so
Or
that's
we're-
huge.
We are whatever.
Yeah, that's huge. All right, what were your stories?
National Sports Podcast.
Yes, National Sports Podcast.
Cam Newton was asked the question whether he would rather win a Super Bowl or an MVP. You know what he said?
MVP.
He said MVP.
Yeah.
So embrace debate. Embrace debate. If I was a MVP winner and not a Super Bowl winner, I would say the exact same thing.
Yeah, this I remember when we had Chris Carter on, I don't know, it was like 6 or 7 years ago, and he said that he would rather be in the Hall of Fame than win a Super Bowl, and I thought that was crazy. But the more I thought about it, I was like, Hall of Fame, you could maybe say that because you're immortalized forever, and there's only a handful of those guys that were the best of the best. MVP, I think, is where I draw the line, where I'd rather have a Super Bowl.
Yeah, probably. Now, 2-time MVP.
2-time MVP, but then you might be Hall of Famer.
That means great career.
That could be Hall of Famer.
Yeah. But I understand why Cam would say that.
Yeah.
I would say that too if I were him.
But I did kind of evolve a little bit on the Chris Carter one where I was like, you know what? Hall of Fame is pretty insane. And you are, I don't know how many actual NFL Hall of Famers.
NFL Hall of Fame's a lot more exclusive too.
Yeah. Like basketball Hall of Fame, who cares? MLB Hall of
Baseball is
Fame.
definitely the most exclusive.
baseball's
but like too much so. But
Yeah. But think about how many players play in the NFL. I mean, there's 53 guys on a roster, and they let in like 5 a year. So being an NFL Hall of Famer, that is pretty fucking crazy.
We didn't talk about the Ichiro thing when he was selected for the Hall of Fame, but it was not unanimous.
Of course.
And then every media member was like, we need the name of this person that did not put Ichiro on the Hall of Fame ballot.
Yeah.
And they should be thanking the guy in the media that didn't do that because it gave them a full day of things to talk about on their sports show of how could Ichiro not be unanimous Hall of Famer.
Okay.
That guy actually did a great job.
Yeah. That guy. Yeah, you need that out there every single time. Wasn't Jeter the same way?
Yeah, I think Jeter was the same way.
There's never been a unanimous.
Mariano Rivera.
Maybe yes. I think
Yeah.
that might be right. 378 members in the Pro Football Hall of Fame total. That's pretty crazy.
It would be a good club to be in.
Yeah.
Plus you get the speech, you get the statue.
You get the gold jacket.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your other national sports headline?
National sports headline. Somebody in the UK has been arrested for cyber farting.
Oh, I saw this.
So this woman took a camera on her phone, front-facing camera, and then put it up to her ass and then farted into it and then sent that video to somebody. So it's not even farting in real life. It was cyber farting. The quote from the judgment said, Miss Evans passing wind, her face smiling at the camera. The victim was a woman by the name of Deborah Priertek.
Okay.
She said that the booty belches made her feel unsafe in her own home. It was purely malicious. She was smirking throughout, and she found it hilarious, but the victim did not. So now Miss Evans, the farter, has to go to 15 rehab sessions, 60 days of alcohol abstinence, and she has a 2-year restraining order following her fart.
Damn.
So has justice been served?
I don't know. Will Compton's in trouble.
He's in big trouble.
I actually sent him.
Don't go to Britain.
He tried to send me a fart for my birthday today, and he couldn't muster one up. Not saying. I mean, listen, that's just sad because everyone always expected Will Compton would be able to get a fart out. So I just sent him one back. What would you say the prison sentence would be for this one? I'll play it. I took a video of it. There's nothing like farting in your phone. It's just always a good time. All right, give me my prison sentence.
That wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
That's like 60 days? Maybe some probation.
I think probation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe some light community work.
That reminds me, I wanted to do a Spaces on Twitter, but it's just only farts. Mm-hmm. Where it's just people farting the entire time, and you raise your hand if you think that you can fart.
I think someone did that,
You
right?
know, well,
So if
no,
you
it's my
record it.
snap. I have a Snapchat group chat.
Oh, yeah.
That's called Only Farts.
Only farts.
Yeah, and you share it with your friends.
Yeah, it's just the only thing that goes on in that group chat is just videos of farting.
I just want to. I want a Twitter Spaces that is nothing but 30 minutes of just people farting the entire time, and laughing, and you can laugh at the farts.
Yeah, you have to be able to laugh at the farts. Okay, and do we have any other national sports podcast stories that we have to talk about?
Yeah. As first reported on Part of My Take by our dear friend Jerry O'Connell, Matt Stafford is coming back.
Oh, he did the research.
He got that by listening to Kelly's podcast.
Listen, there were some people who were like, you guys were too hard on JOC. We love JOC. We just demand excellence at this program.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to hear him fight for his job, and he did. To his credit, he said, "I'm not going to share managing duties."
Yeah.
We wanted that fire from him.
Right. That might have cost him the managing duties, that ultimatum that he threw at us. But
It was
that's good that he did the research and got that.
Yeah, it was good to hear. It was
Yeah.
good to hear him fight a little bit.
Yeah. Also, shout out to AWLs. This kind of is mind blowing, but Spotify released, what was the exact thing?
They did awards.
Oh, they did awards. Spotify did awards, so they did like total downloads in the history of the shows, or was that what it is?
Inaugural Podcaster Milestone Awards.
Okay.
So the first group of honorees are getting plaques.
Okay.
In 3 tiers based on total lifetime to date streams globally. Bronze is 100 million, silver is 250, gold is 500.
So there's 500 downloads, 250 downloads, 100 downloads.
The 500 list was, sorry, I'm trying to find it exactly.
I think it was Joe Rogan.
500 and Crime Junkie.
Okay, so Joe Rogan got and Crime Junkie.
And then the Silver Podcast, which is 250 million plus cumulative streams to date, are Dateline NBC, My Favorite Murder, and Part of My Take.
Oh,
Wow.
Big Cat and PFT commentary.
that is pretty mind blowing. That outside of just basically true crime and Joe Rogan, we're up there. So thank you to everyone who listens. So we get a plaque. We're getting a plaque?
We're getting a plaque.
So-
I think.
We're getting a plaque even though Spotify fired all their people, Hank?
Yeah, I mean, listen, they fucked up raps, but at least they're doing something.
They're making it up to Hank
Yeah.
for that. Yeah. I like that. Also, yesterday,
I'm sorry, by the way. Like, I feel bad for the Spotify people that got fired, but also this, like, I have to acknowledge the rap was bad.
Also, this story is like, I mean, the fact that 250 million and we're the only sports podcast with a silver plaque. What do you got, memes? You got your hand up.
Didn't we hit 1 billion downloads a year ago?
Maybe this is
Spotify
Just
exclusive.
Spotify.
yeah.
Oh, so we got to be close to that 500. Bump us up, Spotify.
Yeah, give us a little, or bump us up AWLs. Get us that, but it's still, it was like one of those moments where you take a step back, you're like, holy shit, like it's basically true crime in us and Joe Rogan, that's insane, and 250 million downloads is, can't wait for our plaque.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I
Thank
can't
you
wait to
guys.
lose our plaque.
Love you guys.
We
might
will
never get
lose
the
it.
plaque,
Yeah, we're going to lose it. Easily.
There was another piece of news yesterday that I discovered by reading a press release. But apparently, me and Big Cat own a football team in Mexico now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we teamed up with Mr. Kittle,
Yeah.
Mr. Greg Olson, Mr. Ryan Khalil. Who else? Who
Blake
else?
Griffin.
Blake Griffin, yeah.
I think Christian McCaffrey. So it was very funny because so I had a Zoom with Ryan Khalil and Blake Griffin, I think it was maybe 2 months ago, and they had this idea they're going to buy a team of an American football team in Mexico. There's a league. I think our team actually is the Monterrey Osos, which
Yeah.
is Bears. And So I talked to them. I was like, we're in. This sounds awesome. They did all the legwork. And then about a week and a half ago, Ryan Khalil and Blake Griffin texted me. They're like, hey, what's your address? We want to send you some hats. And I just didn't read the second paragraph. And it was just, we're close to finalizing the deal. Want to mention you and PFT in the press release if that's cool. And I responded for the hats saying, here's our address. And that sounds great. And then last night, PFT was like, hey, did we actually buy part of this team? And I was like, oh, fuck. I guess I didn't read the second part of the paragraph. So, yeah, we did.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
As owners.
Yeah.
What can we say? Osos vuelto.
Yeah, we got to get to the glory hole. What's the glory hole in Spanish?
I don't know, but Osos han vuelto means Bears are back.
Bears are back. All right, let's see.
They got a cool logo, too.
English to Spanish. You guys are also, you guys know owners.
No, we mean we know them.
You know us.
Yeah.
So congrats to that.
As an owner, I plan on hiring smart football people and then letting them do their job.
Yeah. Agujera de la Gloria.
There we go.
So we got to get to the Agujera de la Gloria.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
And those windows are they're not as big as you think they are.
Yeah.
Do you still have Swansea? Is that a thing?
I think so. But maybe I actually don't. I think actually they might have. I think they might have.
Did you ever sign
sold?
paperwork for the Breakers?
I don't think so.
I think we might have.
I don't think so.
The Breakers, I think we did.
And then we have the Water Dogs.
Nice little portfolio.
Yeah. We've won at least one championship.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, we're owners.
What's
Osos.
next?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, what esports?
E-games is what I was going to say as well.
We'll do an esports team.
Esports team. A paintball team.
Maybe, yeah.
I'd like to get a paintball team.
Like to hire Jake on that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, congrats to us. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Cool.
I don't know what we're going to be doing or how we're going to be running the team, but I do know that the standard is the standard.
And Agujera de la Gloria. It's coming.
Osos vuelta.
Osos vuelto. Okay, before we do a quick little, maybe 5-minute preview of the big game, let's talk about Dove Men's Whole Body Deo as you prepare to host game day celebrations. What are some possible whole body odor related issues you may encounter that make you less confident in your hosting duties? Are you afraid to take off your shoes when you enter your friend's house? Getting nervous your team is down at halftime? Tackle whole body odor with Dove Men Plus Care Whole Body Deo. This whole body deo defends against all your odor zones from pits, privates to feet, and it's long lasting with 72-hour odor protection. Find Dove Men Whole Body Deo at Walmart today. Dove Men Whole Body Deo. I sprayed on some yesterday. It smelled really good. People were giving me compliments, so go get it today at Walmart. Dove Men Whole Body Deo. Okay, Max, how are we feeling? We're going to do our favorite props. 1 week out favorite props. We'll do a full prop show on Friday before the actual Super Bowl, but this is a 1 week out. Looked at a couple lines. Here's what we're liking. It's for the Super Bowl. It's on DraftKings Sportsbook. You can bet all these props. This ain't the little itty bitty teeny tiny bowl. This is Super Bowl 59, and DraftKings Sportsbook official sports betting partner Super Bowl 59 has something you don't want to miss. DraftKings has been the number one place to bet touchdowns all seasons long, and if you thought that wouldn't continue for the last game of the year, you thought wrong. All DraftKings customers can place any touchdown bet on Super Bowl 59 and get it matched as a bonus bet in the amount of your original bet. Max reward varies. It's the last chance to bet on the NFL this season. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code TAKE. That's code TAKE. Place any TD bet on Super Bowl 59 and get it matched as a bonus bet in the amount of your original bet only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Okay. Max, how we feeling week out?
I feel good. I mean, I'm not letting myself really worry until I get to New Orleans.
Okay.
New Orleans is going to be, you're going to see all the Super Bowl stuff around the city. There's going to be all the Eagles, Chiefs, banners, and that's when I'm really going to start getting nervous because I can't do 2 weeks of freak out.
Yeah. You can't, but you might.
No, I can't.
Okay.
Do you have a prop that you like, Max?
My prop, I think that Devontae Smith's due.
Oh.
I think 50 plus yards. I feel good about Devontae Smith.
Okay.
All right.
Hank, do you have a prop?
Yeah, I don't feel as excited. I'm really just blah.
What's
This whole
wrong?
week is gonna be blah.
What do you
'Cause
mean?
Eagles and Chiefs. I don't really like
Future,
either.
dude. Your biggest future
I
of your
know.
life. See,
Get up off the mat.
But I know the Eagles are going to lose, and it's like I'm going to be rooting so hard against the Chiefs, and then I'm going to be mad at the Eagles. So I feel like it's just going to be, it's going to suck. The prop that I will be betting that I'll be rooting for is Patrick Mahomes over 1.5 interception. So Patrick Mahomes to throw an interception.
What about just going to New Orleans? It doesn't get you jazzed up?
It does. I had a little bit of a scary situation last time I was in New Orleans. So
True.
I'm a little bit freaked out if I'm being honest. But
Shaking up.
Yeah.
But even if the Chiefs are going to win, like, just think about how hilarious it's going to be to laugh at Max. Like, that's
true. But
That's
it's like
going to be.
we've done it. We need something new.
No, I mean, this is Super Bowl, though. Like, this is. It would be one thing if we were laughing at him for, like, Villanova not making the tournament. Like, that's like, oh, who cares? Like, they didn't make the tournament. This is Super Bowl. These are for the Max haters.
But
It's their Super Bowl.
But for me, that's the thing. It's like it is. I am the top of the mountain of Max haters, and no one loves reveling in his misery more than me. But it comes at the cost of Tom Brady and his legacy, and some things are bigger than Max being in misery.
I'm not saying don't. I'm not saying
Like I would rather I'd rather the Eagles win. If I had a choice, it's the Eagles.
But the Eagles can win this game, and I'm saying that no matter what, if the Eagles end up losing this game, there's at least a prize at the end of it. It's him.
But then you have to. It's the narratives. Then I have to answer those questions forever.
That's how I'm getting ready for the Super Bowl.
And
It's like
they're tough questions to answer.
Nightmare scenario is the Chiefs win and Tom Brady screws up the call.
oh.
It's not, if the Chiefs win, it's the conversations are tough. They're tough arguments to make. You really I'm really gonna have to get in the lab and
You're gonna have to do some
do some
reading.
fighting. Yeah.
But
If they lose, then we're good.
I'm not cashing out my future on the Eagles. I'm rooting for the Eagles. I'm rooting for Max. But if they end up losing and I lose this money, I know that I got a nice consolation prize in just looking at him. Like, that's there.
Yeah.
And he's going to get back to the exact same level that he was the last time they lost.
Oh, yeah.
Like right now he's trying to play cool. He's not doing a good job.
No.
Cool, but he's trying. Next week we're going to be around the Eagles. He's going to see some of his heroes. It's going to be a week of him seeing other Birds fans being like, we fucking got this, Max.
We're going to interview Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
it could be Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah, it might be Jackson Mahomes.
It might be Jackson. Either Jason
Be
Kelsey
Jason
or
Barkley.
Yep.
Yep.
Jason Barkley, Saquon's brother.
Jax Delente.
All right, so what's your prop, Hank?
Patrick Mahomes over.
Over interception. All right.
I'm looking for no doinks. I don't see no doinks listed just yet. I'm hopeful that they'll put it back up next week. But I am going to be taking over 3.5 field goals. The Gremlin bet, it's at plus 125 right now.
I like it.
And I think they got two great kickers.
I like it. I'm going, I think this has got to be a huge Dallas Goedert game. So I'm going Dallas Goedert over 60 yards receiving plus 119. So it's plus money. I think this is a Dallas Goedert game. I think he's got to eat. He leads the Eagles in receiving yards in the playoffs. It feels like he's going to get his 5 or 6 targets, and he's had I'm just thinking off the top of my head, there's been at least 2 that I can think of where he broke for like 30-plus yards. So Dallas Goedert, recurring guest, eat.
I like it.
You like that, Max?
Love it. Love it.
Who do you think Taylor Swift is rooting for in this game?
Chiefs.
But she's from Philly, right?
Jeez.
She's from Philly adjacent.
What did future guest Jason Kelsey say about who he's rooting for?
Oh, he said it was kind of talking out of both sides of his mouth. He said, I'm going to root for my brother, and I'm going to root for the Eagles. So if the Chiefs win, I'm going to be happy. If the Eagles win, I'm going to be happy.
That's a fair way to look at it. I mean, he's kind of in an impossible spot
Yeah, it sucks.
because he does have like best friends on the Eagles, and then
That's
it's
what
his brother. Yeah,
He was like, it's hard to root against family, but the people in Philly are my family too. So
Right.
it's like, he was like, if you really wanted to ask me, it's going to be tough to say that I don't want the Eagles to win, but I'm always rooting for Travis Kelce.
right. Yeah, just root for. He should just bet all of Travis's props and then parlay it with the Eagles to win the Super Bowl.
It's 1,000,000% a fair answer to give, but also at the same time, you can be like, oh, he's not picking a side.
yeah,
Travis asked him if he would wear like the split team jersey, and he was like, I will not be wearing red.
Yeah. Also, I'll just say this, and we'll ask him this when we interview him on Wednesday. Max will be there.
Either him or Jackson Mahomes.
There's got to be like the big brother, little brother thing. If it's 4-1, that's pretty significant. Like you gotta. I don't know how many more seasons Travis Kelce's going to play, but 4-1 is now. He's got basically a whole hand for a sheer one.
Yeah, I mean, especially since one of those could have been just immediately transferred over to him.
Correct.
That Hail Mary.
Yeah, it could have. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm excited to get to New Orleans. I'm
Me
excited
too.
for a great Super Bowl week.
Me too. I've put the final number. I think my goal is to eat 15 gumbos.
I love that.
15 gumbos from the time I arrive to when I leave. We're leaving on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 6 days, 15 gumbos.
I love that.
I
for
think
you.
it can happen.
I love that for you. Max is staying till Monday. He's going to the game. We got to make sure that you got a real. I want to do. I think we got to do a Sunday morning quick, like 5-minute Zoom. We can just all Zoom in of just the vibes time capsule for the AWL, so they can see Max before going to the Super Bowl. I think that's got to be. We got to do that, right?
Do you think I'll be hungover for that Zoom call?
Oh, you'll be so hungover. You might not even wake up for it.
Are you going to drink champagne?
I will. That's a promise. I will not be drinking champagne.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that's a promise I'm drinking champagne.
Oh, no. I will not be drinking champagne. Getting drunk before the game, I will not be promising sobriety that Saturday.
No, you got to get hammered.
Yeah, I mean,
You're going to get fucked up.
I will not be promising sobriety that Saturday evening.
Yeah. That's a good
That's
non-promise.
all I have to say.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to our interviews. We got Jimmy Tatro, we got Nick Wright, and then we'll finish up with Fyre Fest of the week.
Before we get to Jimmy Tatro, he's brought to you by our great friends over at Reese's. Their peanut butter cups are the perfect combo of chocolate and peanut butter. Reese's peanut butter cups may be even more perfect now because they've added a layer of ooey gooey, delicious chocolate lava. You can buy Reese's cups basically anywhere. Reese's peanut butter cups will be featured in the big game, and they will be sponsoring our week in New Orleans. It's lava time, baby. The Reese's chocolate lava big cup. They've done it again. They changed the game. It's lava time. Get involved. Try Reese's new delicious chocolate lava big cup. Jimmy Tatro is also brought to you by our great friends over at Chevy. Chevy's packed more capability into the Silverado Trail Boss so you can pack more fun into your weekend. Have yourself a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with a truck that says no to nothing. Tailgates, spontaneous camping trips, DIY projects, bring it on. What about a cross-country road trip? Silverado was the perfect ride for last year's Grit Week out west. Recently, they helped us give fullbacks the recognition they deserve with the Low Man Award. Shout out Tyler Crow of Boise State. Well, the Silverado Trail Boss is built like a fullback. We're talking 495 foot-pounds of torque. Hold on to your sodas, Max. Plus, the Trail Boss gives you an extra 2-inch lift, so maybe Hank can finally dunk. Silverado brings the grit, then pairs it all with the latest truck tech inside and out. The result, a truck that can do it all, then show up on Sunday with a story to tell. So learn more about the Chevy Silverado Trail Boss at Chevy.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Okay, we now welcome on our very, very, very good friend. He is in studio. He made the trip just for us. It is the legend Jimmy Tatro. He's got a new movie out. You can stream it now on Amazon Prime. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, you're cordially invited. Go watch it. Support our guy.
Yeah.
So Will Ferrell produced this, right?
Produced it, starred in it.
So that had to have been like a pinch me moment where you've been doing all this. Your career's been taking off. Some people are saying, basically since you came on PMT like 8 years ago, it's like everything's been uphill from there.
Yeah.
Some people are saying that. But was it like, holy fuck, I'm doing a movie with Will Ferrell? Because this guy is, for anyone in our age range, like he's the GOAT.
Yeah, he's definitely my GOAT. And it was definitely like, yeah, the whole time I was there, you'd be just hanging out, kicking it. And then there'd be like that part of me that'd be creeping in, like almost nudging myself, like, dude, that's fucking Will Ferrell.
Yeah, right.
And I'd be like, shut up, Jimmy. Shut up. Be chill. Be chill right now. But he's like, I don't know. They say don't meet your heroes. That guy is like everything I hoped he would be and more. Like
That's
he's just
awesome.
so cool, so funny. Just he's the best.
Yeah.
I have nothing but nice things to say about that.
And did you ever find yourself? Because I think if I ever got in a situation where I was around Will Ferrell or working with Will Ferrell, I'd probably over laugh at all his jokes, but not in like a sarcastic way. Just be like, I think you're so funny. I'm just gonna laugh at every joke you've already made.
Yeah,
because I love you so much.
It is funny. I mean, he's actually funny, but it is funny. Like when you do a movie and there's like a big star on the movie, they can kind of say anything they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and like a lot of times people are just
yeah, right.
Get it? It's Will Ferrell.
Yeah. But it's not like in a mean, because like, when someone overlaughs at something, you're like, all right, dude, it wasn't that funny. You're mocking me. But like for him, like, no, sir, I'm not mocking you. I'm literally just laughing because everything you've ever said is funny to me.
He like gave us like a little, him and Reese gave like a little speech before the premiere, and it seemed like he was just coming out to just like introduce the movie. Like, they've done a few of those, but you could tell the whole crowd was like, just like, oh, what's he gonna say?
Yeah,
he's gonna say something funny. It's coming. And he kind of like felt that, and then it was like, okay, I guess I'll be funny. And then he started doing like a little bit, and it ended up being really funny.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's got to be a lot of pressure to be Will Ferrell.
Yeah, but I mean, to Big Cat's point, it's like whenever I see Will Ferrell saying something serious, I think like, oh, that was kind of funny the way he said that. Like even the serious stuff, you misinterpret as a joke sometimes.
Yeah, you're like, it can't be. There's a bit coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's serious now, but there's gonna be a punchline. I'm just waiting for it.
Yeah, you probably also have to check your references around him. Like, make sure that you don't. Everybody just says Will Ferrell quotes all the time.
That's true.
Like that
true.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah,
you can't really say that to Will Ferrell.
Yeah,
or maybe you can. Maybe it's like, remember that time you said that escalated quickly?
It's
just awesome. Escalated quickly right now. Yeah.
I got a question about making a movie. This is a dumb question, but when did you film this movie?
When or where?
When?
We filmed it in 2023 in like May.
Okay, so yeah, this works. That's a long time between filming it and it coming out. Do you, like, I would forget everything I did. Is that a weird experience to have filmed a movie, have a year and a half of life go by, and then be like, oh shit, yeah, I did do this movie. It's coming out now.
Yeah, because it's happened. There's been movies I've done that have like even more time has passed, and I've like given up on them ever coming out, and then they come out, and you're like, oh, okay, that's. And then you're watching it and you're like, oh, wow. I hadn't even seen the movie.
Yeah.
I watched it for the first time at the premiere because I like finally got around to watching the link and like my power went out. And I was like, I think it's a sign. I think I just need to watch it at the premiere for the first time. But I like them. I like watching them for the first time with the audience.
Yeah.
Get the vibe.
Yeah, because like when we do, our job is very different than making movies. But like when we do something, it comes out right away. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's instant. We tape a podcast, we do a video, it's like, boom, it's out. So you remember everything and you can like converse about it. If we wait, like we do interviews sometimes where we won't release it for, 2 weeks and I will not remember anything we talked about.
But you guys are also saying a lot more things.
True.
That's accurate.
It's just not a good thing.
Do you guys get post-podcast anxiety where you sometimes finish and you go, what have I said?
There's sometimes, well, during the show, we'll say something and then immediately afterwards realize that we were 100% incorrect on it.
Yeah.
And then you have to wait. It's like a 12-hour death sentence where it's like, okay, this is going to come out. Everyone's going to be mad because I mixed up Zay Flowers and Trey Flowers' name. And so I just have to be prepared to see that like nonstop tomorrow morning.
It is funny because I think we've been doing it long enough that I can pretty much tell you the minute we finish a show if I'm like, some shows are just not the best shows. Some shows are like that we crushed it. I can tell you right away like that was an awesome one. And like sometimes I'd be like that was a good one. Move the ball down the field.
Yeah,
wasn't anything special.
Yeah. So
I know right away. But yeah, PFT's right. When you know you fuck up a fact and you're like I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and all my tweets are gonna be like how could you say this? I'm like just gotta live with that. Just be.
But then you do it again like what the next day?
Yeah.
Then we screw something else up.
Yeah,
and then people move on.
Yeah. Just keep moving it. Moving it.
I'm curious to know how young you think you could play in a movie. Like, what's your Hollywood age range that you have right now?
I think it's I'm getting further away from my 20s. But I think I could still play like 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a high schooler anymore?
I don't think so. Maybe in Greece.
Yeah. Those movies always make me laugh so hard, and TV shows especially, where there's somebody who's very clearly in their 30s and they're playing like a high school junior.
But I was watching a movie. It was called I think it was called The Idol Maker. I don't know if you guys have seen this movie, but at one point in the movie, this guy says, "Ma, I'm only 27," and I'm like looking at this actor, and I'm like, "There's no way you're 27." He's got like a receding hairline. He's like, in my head, 45.
Right.
And I look him up because I'm curious to see how old he was when he filmed the movie. And he was 27 in the movie. And I was like, oh, people did look a little older back then.
Yeah.
Cigarettes
and no sunscreen.
Yeah.
I think that was a part of it.
Those things definitely. Everyone's smoking cigarettes in bars.
It'd be funny if they did like an American Pie, like coming of age story for high schoolers, and everybody was in their 40s, like blatantly too old.
Right. Yeah.
Where like all the high school kids were just middle aged. I would watch that.
Yeah, I would watch that for sure. So are you so you're a star, you're a movie star. We've been over this.
Yes,
You're a
ever
movie
since
star.
PMT 8 years ago.
That's a fact.
A-list.
You went from YouTube to being a movie star.
Went from YouTube to Part of My Take, and then straight to the film business.
Yeah, and then it actually what was that woman's name? Bobby Altoff. They're like, she's a plant.
Yes.
Jimmy's actually a plant. He's a PMT plant. He's an industry plant.
I was a PMT.
The studio execs were like, let's plug this guy into PMT and then see where it goes.
And then it happened. They were like, holy shit.
Holy fuck.
Who is the next guy that they've planted?
Two dudes that didn't even know who Jimmy was interviewed him, and man, it's going awesome. All right, so but are we ready for like our first like super serious let's win an Oscar role?
I
think you should.
I think there might be one that he's working on right now.
Can I throw one? Oh,
yeah.
Well, I just saw A Complete Unknown with Timothée Chalamet.
Yes.
Was awesome in it. What if we did the Sublime story and you were Bradley?
Dude, they're actually working on that.
Oh,
really?
Shit.
And I actually was going to audition for it. But it said you have to know how to sing. And I was like, dude, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't sing.
Yeah.
That's I have no faith in my singing.
You would have had the SoCal thing down though.
Yeah, I would have had the SoCal thing down, but he's a singer.
Yeah.
The guy is a singer.
So they need somebody that can sing. Like, is Chalamet going to play Brad Knoll too?
I think Chalamet will be playing everyone from now on.
Is anyone who can sing?
Yeah.
That would be perfect for you. And I'm glad that they're making that movie.
Yeah.
That's everything that I want out of a biopic. But yeah, playing somebody else. Have you ever done that? Have you ever like had to like go back and play somebody who existed and you learn all about him?
Yeah, I played this guy, Bert Kreischer.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I really had to dig deep to get in touch with who he was back then. Yeah, that's the only biopic I've done. I think like I've taken a bit of a stance against biopics. I'm somewhat anti-biopic.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I just think enough.
Okay.
We've done them all, and people are starting to get the rights to stories before they're even done happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's like something like news breaks. They're like the Luigi Mangione thing happens.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then it's like someone gets the rights the next day.
Yeah.
Like, dude, this hasn't even finished happening yet.
Okay.
Let the story at least end before you buy the rights to it and start casting someone to play the person.
Counterpoint, I don't read, and that's how I learn about things. Is biopics.
Through somewhat fictional biopics.
Yes. That's so you're making me even dumber than I am, and I'm already pretty dumb. So I need, because I'll go see a biopic, I'll watch it, and I'll be like, oh, that was kind of cool. And then I'll read the guy's Wikipedia, and I'll be like, oh, cool. And then I'll forget about it, but that was like that's kind of how I learn now.
So you think pretty much every notable thing that's happened follows, for some reason, like the same story structure?
Yes.
Like they all kind of...
It's weird there's always a love interest halfway through.
Yeah, they always like get a girlfriend.
Yeah.
They all get into drugs.
Yeah. Struggles, then they hit it.
Yeah.
And then they're a little too, they hit the fame a little too hard.
But then
it is crazy.
Then
how it
they give
always
a good
works.
speech at the end and talk about how they turn their life around. And then after that, everything's great.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I actually, when we were shooting this movie, this was one of my first experiences with Reese.
Witherspoon.
The have you heard of the restaurant in LA like 2 years ago. It was like the #1 restaurant in LA, and it came out that the head chef had been murdering cats,
What?
Wow.
Yeah, I
What is
remember
it?
that,
What's
yeah.
the place called?
wild jacking off.
Oh, it's not the same guy who had to come out and say that he never jerked off on his cat, right?
No, that guy didn't come anywhere near his cat. The cat wasn't in the room.
Because that also happened.
No, this was a real thing that happened in LA,
Okay.
and this story broke.
What restaurant?
It was called. I don't want to put him on blast, but it was called.
Well, I mean, it sounds like if he's murdering cats and
it was
jerking off on them.
The New York Times put out the article, so
Okay, all right.
it's public knowledge. But it was called Horses.
Yep.
Okay.
And it was like
The restaurant was called
It
Horses.
was called Horses, and then the chef accused her husband of killing their cat.
Yeah, like the divorce proceedings came out,
Oh.
and apparently the husband had been murdering cats.
Okay.
So like when this story broke, it was huge news. Everyone's phones are going off, and I'm on set of the movie, and I'm like seeing this, and I get the text, and I'm like, oh my God. And Meredith Hagner, who plays my wife, is like, what? And I tell her, and she goes, oh my God. Right as Reese walks up. And Reese is like, what? And I'm like, oh no, it's just it's nothing, you know. I don't want to be the guy that's like telling her this. It's like my second interaction with her. You know, I don't want
Yeah.
to have to tell her this story.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's just, some crazy story in LA. Mira's like, tell her, Jimmy. I'm like, okay, well, the restaurant, Horses. She's like, yeah. Like, apparently the chef's he's been murdering cats. She's like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, I know, right? And I like go to walk away. And Meredith's like, no, Jimmy, tell her the rest. Wild jacking off. She was like, oh my God. And I'm like, that's now my first impression. I'm the guy that
Yeah.
was like, I'm like the cat jack off guy.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. You were looking at your phone looking for stories about masturbating.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is not how I wanted my first impression to go here.
Yeah.
My Google alert went off. It was
Yeah.
a jack off cat story.
Yeah, I got it set up. But that actually, I mean, I've always
Google
been,
alerts.
it's thrilling to break news to people. I don't know if that's the news you want to break to someone, but it is thrilling to break news to
It is. I just didn't want to be the guy breaking that news because then I was like, there's an immediate association now with me and this story.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
she looks at you and she thinks of cats being come on.
Yeah. Yeah. In my head, that's what was about to happen.
Yeah.
Now Netflix has the rights to the story, so it's going to be
Yeah.
made into a movie. That's really what it is. Anytime something happens, you see people immediately just say like, "Oh, I can't wait for the Netflix documentary about this." Or,
Yeah. So
can't wait for the
I
feature
said this
about
on set, and then one of the producers was like, I hear her like almost say to herself, I wonder who has the rights. I was like, are you serious? It just can't. This happened today.
it. Yeah. Oh, you should when they do the Hawk Tua story. Maybe you could
yeah.
be Pookie,
Yeah.
or just a Pookie documentary.
Yeah. There's a lot out there.
Yeah, a lot of meat on that.
Are
bone.
they? Is she still going? Is she still
I
on her
don't think
run?
so.
Or did the
she-
whole meme coin thing kind of?
The rug pull. Did you invest in that?
Dude, I lost it all, man.
Yeah.
Someone had a incredible tweet that basically was like, did you ever go on the show Ellen DeGeneres? Did you ever go on her talk show?
No, but I know the tweet you're talking
Yeah,
about. It
someone was
incredible.
essentially like, it's very clear now that Ellen DeGeneres was the apex predator in Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
and she would take if she was still doing her show, she'd have Hawk Tua on for 10 minutes and like chew her up for all the content, spit her out, and we'd never hear from her again.
Yeah.
And now without Ellen, we just have these people running around. She did it to Damn Daniel. Remember Damn
It's like
Daniel?
it's like Yellowstone. It's
Yeah.
like Yellowstone. We need the wolves. The wolves need to be there.
Ellen was the wolf, and now
Yeah.
we have all these people who get a little bit of fame, and they just they're selling meme coins and stuff. And
Damn
Ellen is,
Daniel, fucking Alex from Target. I just saw a
Yeah.
photo that was like Alex from Target turned 27 today.
yeah, right.
What was
Yeah,
that from American Sniper? There's wolves, there's sheepdogs, and there's sheep.
Yeah.
Right. I guess Ellen, she was the sheepdog.
Yeah.
So she's protecting the sheep, us, from the wolves out
Yeah,
there.
right.
Like Damn Daniel.
She just takes them, spits them out.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got Costco guys who are going to be, I mean, I love the Costco
Yeah.
guys, but they're going to be around forever. You should probably, maybe that's the youngest you can play. Maybe you could play Big Justice. Are you familiar with
Rizzler?
the Costco guys?
No, wait. I thought. when
Oh,
you
God,
said-
I'm so jealous of you.
Boom.
Oh, they're the. That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
They're-
okay,
I didn't
yeah.
know they were the Costco. Why are they the Costco?
That's
guys?
where they started. They just started doing videos in Costco.
That's like the Rizzler, right? And
Yeah,
his,
yeah,
and his,
yeah.
And his older brother and dad.
No, they're not related. I'm happy that you don't know this fully because it's always whenever I have to explain this to someone, I feel so much shame.
Yeah.
Being like, yeah, so there are these guys and they do these videos and they just say boom and they're like, what? Why is that funny? I'm like, you wouldn't get it, man.
And they're the ones that have the podcast room next door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. We're trying to hire Rizzler.
Yeah.
He'd be a perfect Will Compton.
He is like, remember Lil Terrio?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he played, I think, college football somewhere.
Yeah,
There was
all
like
these
a-
guys are getting older, and it's shocking to see them not just staying the same age.
Yeah.
Like Lil Terrio, he was like 12 and he was like smoking blunts with rappers and stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, man, this is so funny. He was like almost like Hasbulla.
Yeah.
But he was actually 12.
Yeah.
So it was certainly not okay.
I think the Rizzler is just an American response to Hezbollah. I think that we saw what they were doing, and we were like, we have to develop our own.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we get,
We have to
then we get the
develop
Rizzler.
Aren't
Yeah.
you happy that you've gotten into movies and like this? Because like there was probably a career path for you when you were like starting out on YouTube that you would have. Right now, you'd be like, I have to do a collab with Big Justice and the Rizzler
That would be tough.
Yeah.
to
Trying to
keep
wrangle-
to keep the money coming in.
And also like getting a no.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
hey, so he's a bit busy. And you're like bummed. You hate to admit it, but you're kind of bummed.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I was really banking on doing this collab with the Rizzler.
Yeah. You
And
think
he's 12 and he just big leagued me.
the Rizzler's probably too late to go to a Diddy party, right?
Yes.
What were the Diddy parties like?
Oh, man. No, dude, I actually,
well said.
I'm not going to say I was offended, but it just seems like a lot of people
Got invited.
got invited.
Yeah.
You think anybody's lied about going to a Diddy party right now just for the clout?
Oh.
Like, yeah, hey, heads up. Yes, I was there a couple times, but I always left before midnight.
Or
But so anyone that's saying I was there after midnight, that's a lie.
Do you
and
think
they
it's-
just weren't there at
Do
all.
you think the reverse is it? Yeah, the reverse. Yeah, people like 5 years ago were like, "Yeah, I've been to a bunch of Diddy parties," and now they have to retroactively be like, "I was lying about that."
Oh, that
Yeah.
would be,
Like I actually wasn't there. I was just trying to be cool. Because you were like, "Hey, haven't you?"
You're like,
weren't
you went,
saying-"
right? You used to go all the time, right? Fuck, I was lying.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
lied.
You used it to like cancel a date. Sorry, Diddy invited me. I got to go.
Yeah.
And then you end up marrying that chick later.
She's- yeah, this guy I was seeing used to go to a lot of Diddy
Oh,
parties.
the bridesmaids reading the texts after like their first date that they got sent when you knew she was the one. Now he couldn't make it to the second one because he was at a Diddy party. Oh no, that doesn't look so good. That's not as romantic as I thought right now.
So I think because we had you on right before Beer Olympics, and
Yeah.
then we played disc golf in Grit Week.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast yet, but Real Bros was great.
Thank you.
movie. You literally had a storyline about podcasters.
I know.
And you told us we were going to be in it, and then it just popped up. And it was not just one podcaster, it was multiple podcasters. And it seemed like we could have just done a clip from this studio and just sent it to you.
Yeah.
And been like, here, this is a 5-second cameo that you can use.
You know, I said it before. I'll say it again. There's no excuses. I fucked up. I fucked up.
Well, in reality, I think me and Big Cat would have just like the opportunity to say no
Yeah.
because we're very lazy.
We never got the opportunity to say no.
If you had said, "Hey, we got a spot for you. We wrote it in. All you have to do, fly out to LA for 2 days, shoot your shots, go back," then we would have been like, that's a lot. That's a lot of travel.
That was where my head was at. It was a 10-day shoot. So it was, we had to move fast. And, yeah, but like I said, in hindsight, I fucked up.
okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
But I did want to ask, you mentioned Hasbulla, and I was curious, what happened to that guy? Is he still going strong? Because I used
think
to see
he
him.
is.
He used to grace my feed all the time.
Yeah.
He was really active, and I haven't seen him in months, maybe a year.
Yeah, he'd be like punching some random celebrity all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like his job.
You'd be slapping someone, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what. I do think that the Rizzler just took over.
You think he
I think
took Hasbulla's spot?
I think the Rizzler might be CIA.
I also think it was bad when Mike Tyson met the Hasbulla and thought he was an actual baby.
Yeah, and like picked him up and was taking him and stuff.
Yeah.
I would
that
like
was
to see
bad.
proof of life for Hezbollah, though.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you think he hates the Rizzler? Do you think there's beef?
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Has to be. The Rizzler's he's a star. You'll be playing the Rizzler at some point. Should we talk about LeBron James completely hijacking your organization?
We can talk about it. Yeah, I'm open to discussing it.
How dynamic of an athlete do you think Bronny will be?
I was alarmed to find out he was only 6'1".
Yeah.
I mean, that was a while ago now, but I guess in my head, he was like 6'7".
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when they said he was 6'1", I was like, that just changed my whole perception of his size, his athleticism, all of it.
Yeah. And 6'1's not like that's short in the NBA.
That's
which is
small.
yeah.
He doesn't look small though, and he's like the way he's dunking, it doesn't look 6'1".
Well, he was listed at what 6'4" in college.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
he
so.
got
And
a
then they
couple
measured him
extra
at the comp.
inches.
That's a tough 3 inches.
Yeah.
Is that a shoes off 6'1"?
I think so. I think
gotta
that's
be.
how they measure. Yeah.
It's
But
gotta
like,
be.
why do they measure? They're wearing shoes on the court.
I guess so that some people occasionally I will wear my shoes that are my tall shoes. That
What are
give
your
me-
tall shoes?
I'm not wearing them right now, but my tall shoes
Are they
they're
Hoka's? Because
No.
Hoka's have a lot of.
they're Nike 720s, and they're honestly about 2 inches in the heel.
Wow.
That I can pick up on a good day. So I know when I'm wearing my tall shoes.
Yeah.
If we have a tall guest coming in where they're like 6'7", I will put on my tall shoes and still get roasted in the picture afterwards.
And then what do you jump up to with your tall shoes on?
I jump up to probably 5'10". Yeah, but
huge.
I think that's
Huge.
probably why, because you could wear your tall shoes at the combine when you measure in. Yeah.
But like, you can't really wear tall basketball shoes. I don't know. I guess my argument is you're not on the court barefoot.
Yeah. I do think that there's a case to be made that LeBron James is a great dad. He's a fantastic dad.
Yeah, he's a very good dad.
For getting his son drafted.
Yeah.
Like, who wouldn't want that?
No, I think if you can do it, you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a chance to play with your kid, you play with your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an absolute no-brainer situation for LeBron.
But this iteration of the Lakers does feel like it's just basically LeBron's doing like a legacy couple years here where he's like, I'm just going to do, which again, I would probably do the same thing where it's like, hey, I've done everything. I've played in the NBA for 20 plus years. I'm just going to do whatever I want, hire whoever I want, have fun. But it's got to be a little frustrating watching the Lakers being like, hey, could we try to win games too?
Yeah. It is. I mean, the second we drafted him, I knew. I was like, damn it, we've just signed up for like a novelty situation.
Yeah, right.
Which I'm happy for him, but like they got the photos, they got the photos already
Yeah.
of him, they're on the court doing the dad-son hug, some passes.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe they just are waiting to get like an oop.
Yeah.
And then that'll
And
be
then
it.
once they get the oop, then it's like, okay, we can
That'd be
move on
funny
now.
if he got cut the next day.
I thought it would have been perfect if they got him on the court that first night and he took a 3. I think that was his first shot. If he just drains a 3 and then checks out, and then
Yeah.
everyone like standing round of applause, and you never hear from him again.
And then
Yeah.
you never know what he could have done.
Yeah.
Because then the legend would grow. They'd be like, he might have been better than LeBron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And you could be like, LeBron James played the most amount of minutes in NBA history, and Bronny James Jr. played the least amount of minutes. He played 30 seconds.
Yeah, it would have been so good.
That would have been
Yeah.
cool.
Are we at the point where we can say the once proud Laker franchise when talking about the Bronny situation?
No, that's absurd. We're talking about a dynasty here
Of
What?
What?
I guess
of a
several,
franchise.
Of
family.
oh, okay.
But right now,
Don't you have to win? Like in
Once
that-
proud. No. It's an always proud situation.
always proud.
but the
Yes.
once proud franchise has now turned itself over completely to LeBron James.
It's not once proud. Like once proud would be like the Patriots.
Okay.
The Patriots were once proud. Now they are not so proud.
But the Patriots won a Super Bowl. When was the last time they won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers haven't won a title since Kobe.
He's going to count 2020, yeah.
Yeah, he is going to try to count 2020.
I'm gonna count 2020.
Okay, well, we don't count 2020.
Yeah, but you have to count 2020.
Well, you don't. We literally don't. So
I mean, I think 2020 is you take all the fans
he's
out.
going to do the hardest thing.
It's
That's the only correct response that you're doing, yeah.
No.
They went to
it's-
fucking basketball camp in Orlando. They didn't have
They
to
went to
travel.
basketball camp, but you
Weird
take
that the
out-
old guy who didn't have to travel or play any
you
away
take
games ended
out
up winning.
the home court advantage. It's just them in there.
This
If anything, it should count more.
This is sounding like he's not proud.
If anything,
This is no pride.
2020 counts the most.
This is the correct answer, though. If you're defending the Lakers, you have to go all the way in the other
Yeah,
direction.
absolutely.
Listen, you take out all the distractions and you just boil that game down to who's truly the best.
Everyone plays on the same court.
Everyone
no
plays the
fans.
same
Yeah, no
court.
traveling for the guy who's in his late 30s.
No traveling. You know, tougher on those young guys. They haven't traveled as long.
Yeah.
So if anything, they had the advantage. They enjoyed it more. They don't have families. He had to deal with missing his family.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The older guys have to deal with that.
Yeah, that's true.
If anything, that was just a testament.
Are you at the level where you can get courtside Lakers tickets? Do they give them to you?
No, I've been courtside. I have a buddy who has some courtside
Okay.
tickets.
How does that work? Do they give? I would assume half of the celebrities sitting there.
I think
they're
a lot of agencies have courtside tickets. So then
Got
if you
it.
like really, I mean, like they usually give them to like you'll see like Rihanna. And I'm like, I think, you know,
You're on the same level. As
She doesn't
me.
know ball.
me.
Yeah.
Riri.
Listen, we're the #1 Jimmy Tatro podcast because we need you to be an A-lister so we can be like
Right.
our A-list friend, Jimmy
Yeah.
Tatro.
No, I was actually supposed to be. I was under the impression I had courtside tickets to the Knicks last night.
Oh.
My manager was like, "Hey, got us courtside tickets," and then we ended up being in like the third row.
Oh, no.
Which, you know, I didn't want to. I didn't want to be like complaining.
Were you on the Jumbotron
I did go in the jumbotron.
from the third row? Fuck.
Yeah, and
That's brutal.
everyone was like,
so what was it, Kiss Cam or something?
"Yeah, me and him, me and him."
That's tough. Third row. How'd you
That's-
deal with that? Like you at that point, you would almost not want to be on the jumbotron.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, can we show you?" I was like, "You're still showing me?"
Yeah.
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 Could you hear Spike Lee?
He was pretty close. I couldn't hear him, but he was like, I mean, I don't think he was very vocal last night. I think I would have heard him, but he was like 10, 15 feet away.
Yeah.
I respect Spike Lee because after all these years, like he's still at Knicks games.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think he probably cares about the Knicks more than anything else in his life.
Yeah.
Like that's a guy that cares about basketball.
I mean, if you look at the amount of Knicks games he's been to compared to, I mean, like, what's his last movie? Was it Black Klansman?
I believe so.
I don't know. I don't know if there's
That was
been
a while
another,
ago.
another
That was a
joint
while
since
ago.
then. How come he gets to say a Spike Lee joint? Nobody else gets to say joint.
Yeah. Why don't we get a Jimmy Tatro joint?
I guess you could say joint. I don't know what that means, like credit wise. If you put joint up there, like if it like fucks something up in the paperwork, and maybe he just doesn't care. Like maybe he's getting a joint by credit instead of like a created or written.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any writing credits. It's just jointed by.
It's so funny because he also, when you talk to somebody about Spike Lee films, like I was talking to my mom when Black Klansman came out, and she said, "I'm going to go see the Spike Lee joint at the theaters." My
Your mom said
my
that?
mom's like 80. Yeah, it's a Spike Lee joint.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
he's-
is pretty cool how you can brand yourself that way.
Yeah. He's cornered the markets of joints. So,
It's a Tatro bong.
Yeah, I got a Tatro what?
Bong.
yeah.
Bong?
Bong is better than a joint.
I thought you said bomb. And I was like,
Oh, that works too.
A Tatro bomb.
A Jimmy
I mean,
Tatro bomb.
It should be a cool thing. Like a bomb should be a good thing, I
Yeah.
feel like,
Yeah.
in movies.
Yeah.
Like it bombed, like it fucking,
Yeah, but no, it's not.
it's bad.
It's bad. It's bad.
Maybe I could rebrand bomb, a Jimmy Tatro bomb.
I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you could try.
I could try.
Yeah.
We'll support it. Is Real Bros done?
I think so.
I love it so much.
For now, at least. I mean, it's,
So you're not saying maybe it still has something.
We did what we gave it the ending we wanted
Yeah.
to give it.
Okay,
we had
that's fair.
Tony Hawk play adult Hawk. Hawk's older than me. Hawk dies of old age. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
But like, I really saw Hawk dying as being like
that's it.
the ending. Maybe there's, a spin-off somewhere down the road. I don't know, but it's not what I'm thinking about now. I'm focused on other things.
I just love it so much.
Yeah.
Everyone should go watch it. Watch the seasons as well. Yeah, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good movie.
And you put obviously like a lot of time, a lot of thought, your heart into writing this series, and now you're doing a lot of acting. Are you still carving out time to like work on writing?
Yeah, So I am working on another show right now that it is. I don't want to jinx anything, so I don't want to say anything that hasn't happened. But it's set in the snow.
Okay. And there's a wood chipper.
And they're dogs?
And one guy.
Oh.
One guy's
There's
a
dogs?
car salesman.
That's not where my head was at, but there could be
Do
dogs.
they have boners?
Is it animated?
It's not animated. It's not animated.
Set in the snow. I
Comedy
watched
show.
this French avalanche movie. It fucking sucked. Don't do that.
The Alpinist.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
shit sucked.
Yeah, I heard the ending is no good.
No.
I don't even know if it was that.
No,
was it
I-
Alpinist?
The Alpinist. That was the mountain climbing movie.
No, it was like literally a French movie where they were all at a resort and then there was an avalanche and the husband didn't immediately save the kids and wife and then it was just boring as fuck.
It was in French.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was probably the issue for me.
Who was the main?
I don't know.
French guy.
I don't know. I'll look it up. Don't do that movie is what
Okay.
I'm saying.
You don't strike me as the kind of guy that'd be watching French films.
I got tricked into it. I saw like I started it, and then I think the avalanche happens really quickly, so you get hooked, and then you're like, "Wait, is this subtitles the whole time?" That just kind of fucked me up. I'm a subtitles guy all the time, by the way.
I'm a big subtitles guy.
Do you know what? Actually, can you do this for me? Because I did go to the movies last week. Can you talk to someone in Hollywood? There needs to be an option, like they have an IMAX option. They need a subtitles option.
I completely agree with this.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking it'd be cool if there was like, because I get subtitles when I go to the movies because I can't hear very well.
Yeah.
But like when you buy a subtitle device, I mean you don't buy
Wait.
it, but when you get you can go to any theater and say, "Can I get subtitles for the movie?"
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but
How do you do that?
Well, you don't want to do it because what they hand you is this 3-foot long metal stick where you stick the end in the cup holder and then you like crank the subtitle into position in front of you.
On a screen.
So there's like a little screen that you get that has kind of a shield around it. So the people like to your right and above you can't, like, there's no light.
I didn't even know this.
So you angle it so it's right under the screen, and then you kind of have to, like, because it's so close, refocus,
Oh.
to do that. And it is like loud. Like if you want to move it, it's like, and you're walking around, getting popcorn, holding this massive pole. I'm like, I just want to understand the movie.
Yeah.
And you got me walking around this theater looking like a fucking idiot.
I had no idea that these
I didn't
existed.
either.
Yeah.
Do they like check some sort of card from you, or anyone can get it?
Yeah, I bring my hearing test,
Yeah.
slide it
Yeah.
across.
Yeah.
And they say, "Yep."
Wait, so
deaf
you
enough.
get that every time?
I do, but a lot of times, like IMAX, they don't do it for like 75 millimeter or 70 millimeter IMAX.
So they need to have it be a theater where it's just subtitles.
Yeah, they do need that because I'll go to like I went to I forget I saw one recently and it was 70 millimeter IMAX and I was like, hey, could I get the subtitles? And they go, oh no, this is 70 millimeter IMAX. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm aware.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that would ruin the viewing experience. And I was like,
But I can't hear.
what if I can't hear well? How about my viewing experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, the movie was called Force Majeure. Sucked. Don't watch it.
Force what?
Force Majeure. Force Majeure.
But I didn't used to do that. But my brother, he has a worse hearing loss than me.
Volleyball player.
Deaf volleyball
Deaf
team,
volleyball.
captain.
Shout out Olympics. Is
Yes.
he going to the Olympics?
Tokyo in November.
Is that the Olympics?
That's the Deaf Olympics. He was in the Deaf World Championships last time I talked to you guys.
Yeah.
So the Deaf Olympics this upcoming November.
This upcoming November, Tokyo.
What are the
Are you going?
expectations?
I'm going, baby.
Fuck yes.
Are they the top seed?
They are not the top seed, no. Turkey, I think, is the top seed. They're good.
Do they really, like, are there any times controversies?
Well,
But would it even help
the
in volleyball?
Turkish team, well, because you can't communicate.
Got it.
So, like, there's a lot of communication in volleyball. You have to take your hearing aids out. You can't talk to each other. You can only sign. But I was like, seeing these Turkish guys, and I'm like, I'd like to see some hearing tests.
Yeah.
I don't think that guy's deaf
You
enough.
should bring, like, a
You're like going
bullhorn.
behind him, like, hey,
Yeah.
hey. I don't know if I told you this last time, but there was one time where they would like keep playing, the whistle would blow, but like
Yeah.
they can't hear the whistle. So,
Yeah.
so they just keep going and going, and they're just like,
Stop. Please stop.
stop.
Turn on like a giant red light in the stadium. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
stop
like, how does
sign.
the deaf track meet go?
Yeah.
You know, the gun goes off and everyone's just.
We got to win. Can we bet? We got to figure out a way to bet on
There-
this.
Yeah, you can definitely bet on
I
this.
want,
So
I want you guys to win.
is this indoor volleyball or is this beach volleyball?
Indoor. Yeah.
So we're expecting gold.
We would like gold.
You have
I'm
to
expecting
You have
gold.
to expect it.
I'm
Yeah.
expecting
We're
gold.
expecting gold. We are.
I'm expecting gold.
But he was the one that introduced me to this whole. I didn't even know like you could go to theaters and do that.
Yeah.
So now I do, but I'm embarrassed about it.
Yeah, they need to make it so it's shame free.
Shame
Like
free.
give anybody, and I guess everybody does have the option, but make it well known to everyone. We're going to do this. It's going to have subtitles.
And also, when you ask the people, they all have them, but everyone's response is, "Oh, yeah, yeah."
Yeah.
I'm like, did you have to react like that? Like,
Yeah.
no one has ever asked for this before.
We dust them off.
They
Yeah.
call their manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was, a little more anal about things, I'd cause a ruckus about this. About
You
this
should.
situation.
Yeah.
You should absolutely cause a ruckus.
I like watching. I watch Squid Games, but I do it with not the subtitles. I do it just with the overdubs, which I guess is bad for the actor, right? Because
Yeah, you don't want to do the dub.
you lose out on all the actual inflection and the acting of it. But also, I'm very lazy, and sometimes I'd rather just hear than have to read.
Well, also with the dub, you lose other sounds too.
Yeah.
Because think about it, like if they're on set, or like if they're recording our dialogue, and you're hearing, I sit down, you hear the couch as I'm talking, and that's in the same sound clip. When you dub it, you lose other sounds.
Yeah.
So then they got to like manufacture like little things.
They don't like put a chair in the recording studio and have you sit down as you're talking.
I don't think so.
Have you ever done any dub work?
I did. I dubbed a animated movie from Japanese to English called Airbound, and I played a mouse named Matthew.
Oh, that's a big role.
It was huge. But it's funny because they give you the script, and it's the same sentence somewhat, but like they write it in a way where it kind of looks like what's being said. So you're trying to match to what already exists. Whereas when you do it the other way around, you record all the audio and then they animate to your voice.
Yeah.
So it's harder to dub.
So you have to like get notes about what the other voice actor, where the inflection was, how it was said, and then you try to mimic that the best that you can.
Pretty much. Like you see it and then you see the line and you're like, try to match it as well as you can. It's not going to be perfect, but you just try to match it as well as you can. I also learned on that thing that like when it's a kid's show, everything goes up, Like I'd be like, here we go. Here we go. They're like, no. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Everything has to be exciting.
I know.
Yeah.
Watching shows with my kids, they all have the same.
It goes
tone.
up.
Yeah, and it drives me nuts.
It's not how I say things, but that's like what the I don't know.
Kids just
Here
love it.
we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in a kid's movie, like every 2 seconds, you have to actively keep the kid's attention.
Yeah.
Right.
Something
what are
exciting's
your
happening.
kids watching?
Right now, big into Minions,
Oh,
which is I love Minions.
that's awesome because
They're
the Minions are
hilarious.
I love the Minions.
Yeah, they're hilarious. Moana 2. I've been watching that a couple times. But then it's like we'll mix in the like there's this like Ms. It's not Ms. Rachel. There's Ms. Rachel, but there's like a Ms. Katie or something that
Yeah.
just sings songs, and I want to just put a bullet in my head.
What about Blippy?
Blippy they watch, which I know the backstory of Blippy, and I don't know if I'll ever tell my kids that, but
Is it dark?
Oh,
no, it's not dark.
Biopic coming?
yeah.
Blippy made probably the funniest video I can ever. I think the funniest internet video, if I had to pick one all time, Blippy created it, and but then has gotten scrubbed from the internet. So it was what was the Harlem Shake? Remember the Harlem Shake fad? There was a Harlem Shake. It was two guys doing the Harlem Shake, and the beat drops, and they're in the bathroom, and then when the beat drops, I can't remember if it was Blippi or his friend, but whatever it is, one of the guys was then taking a shit across the bathroom into the other guy's asshole, and I've never laughed harder.
Projectile diarrhea.
It is. You can't find the video anymore. It was one of the funniest videos I've ever watched in my entire life.
And that's Blippi.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, that's Blippi. That's what my kids watch
that's
every
so
night.
that's Blippi.
Yeah, yeah.
Was the Harlem Shake 10 years ago?
It was
9,
maybe
I think, right? Because
yeah.
we did one of our first videos that Big Cat and I ever did. We were at the Niagara Falls Museum, right?
Yeah.
And dressed up as a couple of Canadian guys in 2016.
That was a mannequin challenge.
Oh, that was a mannequin challenge. Thank you,
Okay,
man.
yeah. Harlem Shake. Yeah, it was probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hank.
But that's they watch Blippi. They like Blippi, and I'm just sitting there like, all right.
The Niagara Falls Museum is at Niagara Falls?
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just a room with a window where you can look at Niagara Falls
No,
and that's the museum?
They have dioramas in there of
Okay.
like this happened near Niagara Falls at some point in history.
They have the picture. Pretty much the coolest thing the Niagara Falls ever had was, I think, outside of Harry Houdini, was the time when they stopped it for like a while. To
What do you mean
ever
they
seen-
stopped it?
They
They
shut it
stopped.
down.
They shut down
damned-
Niagara Falls.
They damned it.
They found a couple bodies. They like had to do an ecological study or whatever you call it. You never
I've never
seen this
understood
picture?
damming things.
Pull
How do
up
you
the
stop
picture
the
of-
water? How do you first stop the water in order to build the thing that stops the water?
Dams freak me out.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't
Yeah.
really know.
Like
You know?
I have the same question about cranes, about giant cranes. When you see like a huge one that's taller than any building in the city,
Right.
How do they build that crane? Was there another crane, a bigger crane that came
Yeah,
in?
tunnels.
But yeah,
Tunnels blow my mind underwater.
dams do freak me out. Just underwater engineering in general. No
Max,
idea how it gets done.
Find the picture.
Some questions are better left
He
unanswered.
wasn't listening. Niagara Falls when they stopped it. That's a good Google
Niagara
search.
Falls when they stopped it.
There it is.
Niagara Falls
Click the picture.
stopped.
1969. Look at that. They just stopped that shit. Isn't that
Dude,
crazy?
If you told me that was like a really little.
Yeah, it doesn't look as
stream.
good. Yeah, it
Oh, okay,
doesn't
there
look
we
as
go.
impressive. But yeah, they just stopped it. I think there's like 4 of them, and they stopped 3 out of 4 of them. Pretty crazy, huh?
We used to go over Niagara Falls in barrels all the time. We as a species.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been a barrel guy for a while.
Pussification of America.
Yeah.
There's a lot of jump guys that jump off of high.
I watch those videos.
Dude, my feed has been taken over by these guys.
Yeah.
They do like 10 backflips and then just land in water.
Yeah. Oh, those guys. I thought you were talking about the skyscraper guys like in Russia. But yeah,
Oh,
the
those
guys who are
guys are
doing the
crazy.
jumps, and they always do the thing where they get their hands and
Oh, the
feet together
death
at the end.
dives?
Yeah. They throw a rock to break the tension.
Yeah.
And then there's like some dude in Norway who's jumping like 180 feet.
With the hammers?
Yeah.
Have you seen that guy?
It's crazy.
With the 2 axes?
I watch it every time.
I'm like, why the axes? It's cool.
So what is
Yeah.
it? This guy takes 2 axes and he just jumps off cliffs into the
Jumps
water?
off a cliff
Yeah.
and like axes the water when
Yeah.
he lands.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking
It's badass.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. The feed, like seeing all these guys that it's just so funny to think about like 20 years ago. Like, were these people doing this thing, or was it because social media now exists that everyone's got their thing?
And they keep pushing the record, like
Yeah.
the world record death dive.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
we're gonna watch
40
them die.
meters.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone, the winner will die.
Yeah. And I will watch it. I'll see it on my Instagram feed and be like sensitive content.
Are
and
you seeing a
I'll
lot of
click
death
right through.
videos? Because I'm seeing a lot. I'm seeing a lot of death. I wish I was seeing less death.
I saw a lot of death like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
I feel like that's when it was always like the next video you'd be watching on X, and then the autoplay next video would be like somebody getting shot in El Salvador.
Yeah, or
and
yeah.
it was like there's too much death going on social media right now. I don't know if I changed something or if they changed something, but I feel like I haven't seen as much recently.
Yeah, there was a stretch where I'm pretty sure I saw every single person die in the Ukraine war.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
I just saw every single soldier that died. I just saw him.
I would see. It would seem like a unsuspecting video. It'd be like the definition of fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, cool, it's gonna be a little fight or something.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, an argument, and then someone pulls out a gun and like kills someone.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, dude, it's 9 a.m.
Yeah, or it would be like a drone footage of like a barren wasteland. You're like, oh, this is interesting. What the hell is this place? And then it just like goes down and it's 10 feet above like some soldier just begging for his life. And then they kill him. And it's like, oh, okay. I guess I watched that.
I deleted X.
What? The everything
Yeah.
app?
It all
I
happens
deleted
on
it.
X.
Why?
It was just depressing me. Everything I was seeing on there was just like,
I'm jealous.
It was just bad.
I'm
I didn't
jealous.
like anything I was seeing, and I was like, I go on here, I see depressing information and just terrible opinions, and then I get mad.
Wait, so is your relationship with the internet now like you don't get any feedback? Because that's incredible.
No, I mean, I still like, I'm still on like Instagram.
Right, but are you getting feedback there? Like, are you looking at the comments section? Like, are you just living your life, essentially, which sounds incredible.
I think so,
That's awesome.
but like feedback in what sense? Like,
You read the comments, obviously, on your Instagram post.
yeah, I don't read all of them, but I
Yeah.
see the
Yeah, peruse.
see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like,
But it's not like when I was like posting YouTube videos where I would like
Read all the comments.
I would like post like every week for I you guys are posting things consistently, so there's
Yeah.
more of like a feedback dynamic.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess what Big Cat means is just like reading all the comment. Like you post anything, and then people have an opportunity to tell you what you screwed up, and then you focus on those people, and then you get bummed out. You don't do that. You don't live that lifestyle.
Not anymore, no.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good.
I do like the idea of you because you don't have Twitter anymore. Like, if you don't post a lot on Instagram, like maybe you go like 6 months and then someone finally gets their take off about like real bros. They've just been waiting for you to post something so they can comment under it. Bring something up from 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
oh there you are.
Yeah. Oh, finally.
Yeah, finally I got some shit to say.
Why'd you choose this plot point? I got him finally.
The color was all off in this scene.
Yeah.
I mean, I can give you just a roundup of what you missed from the last time that you posted on X.
Okay. What was the last time I posted? How long ago was
This will forever be the best prank of all time, and it's a bunch of guys moving a storage unit and porta potties. And
Dude, that prank is incredible. Have you seen that prank?
I'm watching it right now for the first time. It looks pretty good. Looks like a great prank. So you posted that on September 18th, 2024. The first reply is $XRP. You want to make $1,000 right now? Just did, and then nothing else.
See what I mean?
You missed that guy. That guy tried to make you $1,000.
Like, what are you doing?
It's
dude?
also all the replies are like unrelated now. Like they're they're like random, like people just send random things now in replies.
stupid shit. Yeah, just a bunch of
I don't like it over there.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All
I
right,
had to get out of there.
I got one last question for you, Jimmy. Thank you for coming by. By the way, for people, Jimmy's been our good friend for what? Oh, how many years is it now?
I don't know. When was the first time I came
I
on
want to say
PMT? Was it-
2018, 2019,
I want to say
maybe?
2019.
Whenever your
2019?
career really took off.
Yeah.
It might have been.
Whenever your tax bracket went to the highest.
Oh, it was after the bees.
Yeah.
It was after your bees.
Was it
situation.
after the bees?
Yeah, because I think every time we have you on, we ask you how the bees are, and you're like, oh, I don't have bees anymore. Remember? I've been telling you that for 6 years.
Yeah, we're so stupid. But it is it's like one of the coolest things we do in our one of the coolest things we get to do in this job is like become actual friends with people we interview and become part of the show. And Jimmy, what I was going to say is Jimmy was in New York last night for the premiere, is flying back to LA, and he's like, you know what? I'll fucking stop in Chicago and see you guys. So thank you very much. We appreciate that. So my last question, roback question, rhoback.com, promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase, Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts, roback.com, promo code TAKE. Let's just go vision board. What's the next role we want? Let's put it into existence, and then we're going to start just talking about it, subtly talking about it when we have like people in the industry on. We're like, you know, who'd do good in this role? Jimmy Tatro. That kind of stuff.
I think it's time for an action role.
Yeah, I love it.
I think it's time for an action role on the acting side.
I love it.
On the writing side, I'm still into comedy, but on the acting side, I think it's time to do some action comedy.
Top
You know?
Gun 3.
Okay.
Start doing some stunts while I'm
23
still athletic.
Jump Street.
I would love to do. I'm getting too old, but I always wanted to do a basketball movie.
Hoosiers. The next Hoosiers.
The next Hoosiers. I could, you know.
About the 2020 Lakers.
Yeah.
Who could have thought?
LeBron measuring, the rim.
Would you play
inside.
LeBron?
I would play. I'd buzz the head. I'd play Caruso.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that.
That'd
Yeah.
be perfect.
For sure.
Yeah, being in a sports movie would be pretty sick.
That would be cool. Because also, when was the last time we had a good like big sports movie?
Yeah, it's been a while. I think they just all become miniseries now.
That's true.
Yeah,
Not everything needs to be a mini series.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like with documentaries, sometimes it could be one thing.
Yep.
It doesn't need to be 3 episodes.
Yep.
Just
Agreed.
make it one doc.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the last good sports movie that we had. There really hasn't been one for a while.
I can't. I'm at a loss. I'm thinking right now.
Anyone got one? Anyone?
Max Memes, you got one?
Last good sports movie.
The Adam Sandler basketball one was good
Oh yeah, I didn't see
with
that.
Hernan Gomez.
Which one? What do you say?
Adam Sandler
Adam
basketball.
Sandler basketball movie.
Played
Played
like a scout.
Oh, Thunderstruck, starring Kevin Durant.
Thunderstruck. The I don't know if it counts, but Iron Claw was very good. The wrestling movie.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
I guess I guess that counts.
Yeah, that
That
Hustle is what he's talking about.
Oh,
but yeah,
Hustle.
let's get another good sports movie.
I haven't seen Hustle.
What do you got, Hank?
Air.
Air was good, but that wasn't a lot of sports, right?
Oh, Kevin James.
Oh, yeah, there
Kevin
it is.
James
That's
playing
the
Sean
answer.
Payton.
This is happening?
Yeah, no, it happened.
did.
What do you
It
mean
already
this happened?
happened.
Kevin
team.
James played Sean
Sean
Payton.
Payton,
did,
yeah. It already happened.
This is out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
It came out like 2 years ago.
yeah, real
Stop.
good. Yeah, so
Is it funny or serious?
bad? Oh, you didn't ask.
I haven't
if
seen it.
bad. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Because that screenshot, that looks serious.
Yeah.
That
Well, it
was
was
funny.
about Bountygate and how he went and coached. He got suspended for a year and then went and coached his kids' like Pee-wee team. So yeah, that happened.
Wow.
Jimmy, I found an old AMA that you did, and one of the people asked you. Nothing bad, don't worry. One of the people asked you if you could.
This is a terrible sentence.
This is from 11 years ago, so put yourself back in that mindset. They asked you if you could share the screen with one other actor. Who would it be, and what genre? You just replied with the actors. You gave 2 of them. Will Ferrell,
Oh,
check. Second, Jim Carrey.
Ooh.
What's Jim Carrey up to these days?
I don't know what Jim Carrey is up to these days, but that is Jim Carrey in The Grinch. That was the first time I thought to myself, maybe I should act.
Really?
The Grinch, man.
The
That was-
Grinch.
That was
The
what
light
did it for
bulb
me.
up.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was it about his acting in The Grinch?
I just remember how I felt watching The Grinch. I was like, wow, he's bringing me so much joy. I would like to be able to bring someone this much joy.
It's amazing.
Oh, he retired in 2022. I didn't
But
know
then
he could do
he
that.
retired in 2022, but later returned
Oh.
for Sonic 3.
Yeah, well, you got to come back for Sonic
come on.
3.
So it's funny to retire after Sonic 2, but come back
Yeah,
for
for Sonic 3.
Yeah.
That
That's-
sounds like a break.
Yeah, that sounds like a break. That's very cool, though, that 11 years ago, you're like, I want to do something with Will Ferrell. And
That is
now
cool.
you can go watch it on Amazon Prime. You're cordially invited. Go watch it. Support our guy. So even if you're not a movie guy, just put it on. You can walk away if you want.
Just
Yeah.
stream it, yeah.
Just stream it.
Throw it on.
Stream it as many times as possible.
Just throw it on.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to stream it all night tonight.
Why not?
All right, Jimmy. Thank you, man. You're the best for coming by.
Thank you,
also,
guys.
Jimmy did hit his first shot on the court
That's pretty sick.
after
Yeah.
his air ball.
Yeah, I hit my first shot. There was one. I took one, and then I hit the first one.
Yep.
Right after that.
Yep.
Well, you've been training for your basketball movie that's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get a
Get
shot
some tape
coach.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Myers Leonard story featuring Jimmy Tatro. Jimmy Tatro was brought to you by Mountain Dew. You can add a blast of refreshing tropical flavor to your game day with Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Mountain Dew Baja Blast is a part of my game day ritual. I like to have one at halftime. Gets you energized for the second half. A lot of people start to fade. Not me. I'm drinking my Mountain Dew Baja Blast. I'm coming out of the tunnel swinging. The tropical lime flavor of Mountain Dew Baja Blast is refreshing as hitting a parlay. Feels great. Ride the Baja wave on game day. Grab Mountain Dew Baja Blast for you and your crew wherever refreshing beverages are sold. Mountain Dew Baja Blast, one of the goats of the entire soft drink industry. The Baja Blast, grab a pack today for you and your crew. He was also brought to you by Uber Eats. Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food no matter what you're craving. From 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week all season long. Uber Eats, the official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now for game day. Terms and conditions apply. See the app for details. And now here's Nick Wright.
Okay, we now welcome on our good friend. It's been too long. It is
Long time.
Long time. It is Nick Wright. You can see him every day on Fox. First Things First, Fox Sports. You can get his podcast, with it, which is what's the name of the podcast again? What's Right?
Jesus Christ, man, you're not helping me.
No,
What's
I'm not.
Right with Nick Wright, with
Yeah,
my son. Yeah, it's me and my son. Yeah, subscribe, follow on YouTube, Spotify, whatever.
It should have been The Right Stuff.
Well, What's Right's what I called my radio show when it started at Syracuse and in Kansas City. So all my audio stuff's always been called What's Right.
Yeah, it should be The Right Stuff. I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job, but it should be The Right Stuff.
Or you could call it.
Well, you know what? We'll
Yeah.
consider rebranding.
Yeah, I mean that's not hard
but-
to do. The Right Stuff, like in my head, I was like, it's The Right Stuff, right? Because that's intuitively an incredible name. And then it's like, what's
Another way
right?
to look at it is that name's been taken and it's been used, and so this is new. Can I ask before, because I know we're going to talk Chiefs? Can I ask PFT a specific question first?
Yes.
I'm a bad podcast guest because I'm just used to hosting, so I apologize. All right, so PFT. If I said in June of 2028, an asteroid is going to hit Peru and cause damage the likes of which we haven't seen in centuries, and everyone's like, "You're crazy. That would never happen. It's never happened in recorded human history." And then in June of 2028, an asteroid hit Uruguay. Am I more right than the people who said it would never happen? I was dead wrong. There's a reason I'm asking this, but just answer that.
Well, I'd say that you're off by like 900 miles. That's not close.
Oh, you think it's not close? Because I would say I'm like 99% correct, 1% wrong.
So
here's why I say it.
let me ask you, Nick. What were you wrong about that you're claiming you're right about?
Well, if in August I say, for the first time in NFL history, a rookie's going to be playing to go to the Super Bowl and make the Super Bowl, and that rookie is going to be a Heisman Trophy winner, and that rookie's going to be a top 2 pick, and that rookie's going to have a connection to Cliff Kingsbury, and then this all happens, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're an idiot. You said Caleb Williams was going to make the Super Bowl," and I'm like, I basically called it.
Yep.
Yep.
I was off by, as you put, 900 miles, but I'm more right than everyone else.
Yeah,
like I am the most right about this.
I'm going to disagree with you on that, but that's okay. I think that I admire the fact that you were willing to put your balls on the line for a take. You've never been afraid of that. In September of this year, I said after the Commanders beat the Cardinals, I said I think that this team can lose the NFC Championship game. That's how good I thought they were.
Yeah.
So in calling the NFC this year, most right PFT.
Yep.
Second most right Nick Wright.
Well,
that's how I feel.
I want to defend you, Nick, because I think also you were so Danny Parkins, who everyone should watch his show. He's with Stink and Carton, and I know Danny. Danny's your best friend, Nick. He joined Fox in the summer. I always saw it as you trying to help him and being like Caleb Williams. Like I would watch you talk about Caleb Williams and be like, he's doing this for Danny. I appreciate it because anyone talking about the Bears quarterback like this is awesome. But so I actually don't think you were that wrong. Have you thought about Play One's Cards Right as your name of your podcast? I'm gonna think of some more.
No, I'll stick with what's right. But on the Danny note, so he in the spring was in New York for a conference and came on the show for the first time ever. And this was way before it was even thought of between here. Wait, Fox might hire you full time to do a show. And on that show, we talked the Bears and Caleb because they had just drafted him. And I went over the top because I had already been a big Caleb guy with Caleb stuff. And then the second time on the show was the time when I said I might pick the Bears to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And our group of friends was like, that might be the scummiest thing you've ever done to a friend, Nick. Like, you are elbowing Danny off the Caleb corner. And I said, you got it exactly right,
Yes.
Big Cat. I was like, I'm playing 4D chess, boys. I'm elevating the storyline and also making it so if Danny ends up being a full-time person here, no one can be like, oh, you're a Chicago homer, because he will be taking a more conservative position than me.
I saw right through it. I was like, I actually thought it was one of the cool, best friend moves you could do because you also were just taking all the reckless takes so that his takes while also reckless because we all said some really reckless shit about the
Right,
Bears.
but
They're
I'm the
still-
human shield.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
the take shield. Nobody's like, oh, this homer from Chicago. Everyone's like, Nick's an idiot.
Yeah,
That's exactly how I felt about it.
That's how I
Another
saw
thing
it.
I don't get enough credit for.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You were right.
So to any of the haters out there that might ever say Nick Wright sometimes says things that he doesn't truly believe
No.
in the name of generating buzz and discussion, you're saying that those people are absolutely correct.
No, I'm not saying that at all because I thought the Bears could make the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
believed
they
it.
had all the things in place, and by evidenced
Okay.
by the fact that this Eagles team made it, it's pretty clear anybody could make the Super Bowl in the NFC. What I said was, oh, I'm sorry, is Max or Mays or Hank any of these? I don't know. Somebody's going to get mad at me, and they
Mays.
don't care.
I like Mays.
I thought to answer that, and then we can talk Chiefs. I never say anything I don't believe. I say things I believe more stridently and at a louder volume. But you guys know this. You do too much content to keep track of lies. If I had to like remember what I was supposed to believe, is too many plates in the air. I'm not Red Panda. Can't do that.
So we should all judge basically like if you're watching Nick Wright, and I do think you're insanely talented. The more strident you say it, the more with your chest you say it. That's really like you're kind of ramping it up. Why have you never said like something with your chest like LeBron has never done steroids?
Well, I mean that's such an outrageous accusation.
I didn't. Whoa! I did not. I didn't accuse.
He said he hasn't.
I didn't accuse LeBron of doing steroids. I said, why haven't you said LeBron has not done steroids?
I mean,
The
I don't know. Why
accusation-
haven't I said?
What?
Why haven't I said Big Cat's 12 feet tall? Like things that are obvious. You don't need to say. I just don't.
You
I don't
went
need
straight
to say
the.
it.
You went straight to the accusation. I did not accuse LeBron of doing steroids. I said, why haven't you said LeBron has not
Hey,
done
can
steroids?
we talk about the Chiefs and about how in your guys'
No. Real
post
quick.
game pod?
Nick, I think Big Cat brings up a good point, which is LeBron's career.
I don't.
Here's what I believe. LeBron's career has been so different than anybody else's. The man is amazing. He keeps doing stuff into his late
Incredible.
30s that
Incredible.
nobody has ever dreamed of. Forget about Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Forget about anybody else. This man is the best basketball player in the history of the world. And frankly, I think that it's an outrage that more people haven't accused him of doing steroids.
Yeah.
That's how much I love
Yeah.
LeBron James.
It's a great point.
Up until the dismount, I was thinking, wow, I'm on the screen for the greatest moment in Pardon My Take history. Like finally some truth being told about LeBron on this show that you guys don't have to bring me on to do. I didn't love the end of it, but it is, listen, and that it is actually, as I try to segue to the Chiefs, a first cousin of what's happening with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are so great that it must be a conspiracy. It must be rigged. They have broken people's brains. In a way, those people who make those ridiculous, unfounded, without any evidence whatsoever, allegations about LeBron have broken people's brains. But speaking of the Chiefs, can I say one thing to you guys about your post-game pod?
Yes.
First of all, I appreciate that you guys have. I look at the Chiefs commentary as that bell curve meme where the dumbest people and the smartest people, if you asked them any time about football, they're all like, I don't know. The team that always wins the Super Bowl is probably going to win it.
Yeah.
And then the pretend smart people are like, well, the Ravens DVOA is top 5 all time, and the Lions point differential. Dan Campbell's got it. It's like, no, it'll be the Chiefs. And I appreciated that you guys have not fallen into this referee fever dream.
Yeah.
Well, we still discuss it.
Yeah, we let people be angry. Bills fans, our biggest take is I don't like when people are really far on one side or the other. I thought he got a first down, but it's not the reason the Chiefs won the game. The Chiefs won the game because they're better than the Bills and they're better coached than the Bills. But if you're a Bills fan, you should spend the next 6 months complaining about that first down.
Well, yeah, because it allows you to spend the next 6 months not thinking about back-to-back years, Josh Allen down 3 points, ball in his hands, and 0 combined points. I know that's verboten on this show because he's a 12-time guest, and I know that it's Sean McDermott and it's everyone else, and Josh is excellent. I also would say Kyle Brand, who's as big of a fan of Josh Allen as you guys, tweeted right before the drive, Josh Allen was put on this world for this drive, biggest moment of his career, whatever happens. What happened was he got 17 yards. But my only issue was you kept saying if they scored there, it's a 2-score game.
Because they would have gone for 2.
They were up 1. Oh, they would have, and that's the 2 they would have gotten? You killed them for going for 2 so much.
No.
That's the 2 they would have gotten.
No. Here's it was actually a compliment to the Chiefs. You're so in your own head about like seeing shadows everywhere and being like, oh, this guy said something bad. I was actually saying while we were watching the game, because we watch the games live and we live stream.
Yeah.
I was saying that, and they might not have gotten it because they couldn't get 2 yards all day. Yeah. I was saying that if the Bills, during that drive, I was like, if they score here, they should go for 2.
They should.
Because there's no way that you're beating Mahomes if you keep it a 1-score game with 10 minutes left. I was like, the only way that the Bills can win this game is to make sure that it's a 2-score game late in the fourth, because otherwise Mahomes is going to win. So that's was kind of my whole thing going into the game. During the game, I was like, you got to step on their throat. If you leave it a doubt, Mahomes will win.
That's 100% right. The only other way to win the game, and you really have to like thread this needle, but if somehow you can get the ball back down less than a touchdown with, call it, to pick a random number, 3 minutes and 33 seconds left, all timeouts, and actually have your superstar quarterback come through.
Yeah.
That's the other way you could win the game. And they've now had 2 bites at that apple in back-to-back years, and they haven't been able to do it. Listen, I think he will win a Super Bowl eventually. But somebody is going to be left without a chair in making the Super Bowl in the AFC. And certainly the problem is that I would worry about for Josh is because I think he'll beat the Chiefs in the playoffs one time. He's too good, and the games are too close. Is it going to be hard psychologically to then like recalibrate and be like, that wasn't the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
The bigger, like, that's why the NFC that's why PFT's in such a great spot, is it's like, maybe you make the Super Bowl in the 1 in 4 years the Chiefs aren't there. And if you do, you are at the top of the mountain winning 1 game. All the AFC teams, it's like, we have to beat the end boss and then have another game to play, which is brutal.
Jalen Hurts has already been to more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers. That's what the NFC is right now. All right, so I got a question for you, and I want your honest opinion.
Great.
This is a complete hypothetical, but if Josh Allen were on the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes were on the Bills, how many Super Bowls would Josh Allen have gotten to? Because I obviously think Mahomes has proven it more in the clutch. I'm not saying Josh Allen's better than Mahomes. I always say Mahomes is the best quarterback. But I do think at this point there's a lot of coaching and defense that I think Josh would have been at least to 3 Super Bowls probably, because he's played that.
So so Colin, our friend, Colin Cowherd, said yesterday to me that exact scenario. He's like, Josh would have more rings. That's too much.
I wouldn't think that. Yeah.
Right. What I would remind the audience of is what Josh has never had to deal with in Buffalo, and it's a testament to McDermott, is what Mahomes had to deal with his first 3 years in Kansas City, particularly the first 2, horrific defense. So that is something we haven't seen Josh have to overcome. That I'm not saying he couldn't. But if in yours right now, it is 5 appearances, 3 rings to 0-0. If it were flipped, I think Josh would have been to 2 and 1-1, and I think Mahomes would have been to 4 and 1-2. So that's what I think would have been the scenario, because I think Mahomes.
That sounds like an advanced stats.
Which Bills teams would would Patrick Mahomes have taken to the Super Bowl?
Give us the hypothetical matchups.
Okay, so I think there is no question that in 2022, that Bills team with Mahomes instead of Josh, the team that got rolled by Joe Burrow at home, which was weird. That team was awesome. I think 2021, it probably would have gone Josh the way it went, but Josh's way in Kansas City last year with Tyreek. But I think the early Josh Allen Bills teams, 2018 is a year like to think about. Both of their first year as a starter, that defense was good. They had just gone to the playoffs the year before with Tyrod Taylor. You drop Mahomes on there, it's to me a similar situation as when you dropped him on Kansas City.
Yeah.
And so Like those are ones that come to mind right now. This year, for sure. Like so, but whatever.
And I don't think you can say the same for Lamar, because I do think Lamar has had teams that have been really, really good on both sides of the ball,
100%.
and he's had really good coaching, and he's fallen. I see Josh and Lamar is different.
No, of course. Listen, Lamar. Everybody gets so mad at me. Lamar's Aaron Judge, and there's nothing wrong with it, but he's Aaron Judge, and everyone thinks that like I used to say James Harden, but people have such a dislike of Harden's like athletic character that and everyone loves Lamar, the person, and how. So take that out of it. Peyton Manning is the obvious comp, but if we want to switch to right now, this moment, it's Aaron Judge, which is like on a day in, day out basis in the regular season, you're like, is this the best player in the sport, or certainly in the top 2 or 3? And then come the playoffs, it's like, man, every time, again, we don't have to relitigate this, but every regular season, it's Lamar's the best player in the league. And every playoffs, it's like, you know why they lost? They put the ball in Lamar's hands too much. And that's a little, that's a little frustrating.
What do you think about those, the listeners out there that might hear that and say there's a better comparison for James Harden in today's NFL?
Who's that?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, the
flopping.
Yeah.
Good point.
What would you say to them? I'm not saying that.
Good point.
But there are people listening right now that are like, I can't believe he said James Harden and then Lamar.
Yeah. Taking advantage of the rules.
Yeah. James Harden, very smart player. I like that you're probably pulling up some stats right now because
I'm not. I was actually cleaning something. I'm not. But the keyboard's here. I was cleaning something there. Sorry, I had to kind of determine, because when Big Cat texted me yesterday, come on. First, I said yes, and then I was like, hey, promote the podcast, which he took so seriously, he didn't know the name of.
Whoa!
Because I don't
the right stuff.
Don't want to. So obviously I'd love for some of your listeners to, sample my stuff. So I was debating whether or not I want to alienate them. But, my North Star is the truth. So what I would say to anyone who actually believes there is any type of comp between James Harden and Patrick Mahomes is you're the dumbest fucking sports fan I ever heard. And so my pod's probably not for you, because it'll confuse you. And so it just wouldn't be fun. And so that's what I would say to them.
Okay.
We do say, especially after the Bengals game this year, the Chiefs-Bengals game, where people were talking about the alleged pass interference at the end, people do have Chiefs derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
They do.
Yes.
And anytime
that's why
something
I give you
bad
guys
happens,
credit. You guys have said this all year.
Yeah, I call it's like Chiefs-a-gate. Whenever anything bad happens, they start to connect all the dots and be like, oh, this ref lived in Missouri for 2 months when he was 23 years old. And they start to tie all this stuff together. The fact of the matter is the Chiefs have been just the better team and the better coach team with maybe the best quarterback. Actually, that's a good question for you. What does Patrick Mahomes have to do to surpass Tom Brady to be, in your eyes, the greatest quarterback of all time?
So I already think he's the best player ever, but he's not the greatest quarterback of all time. I know that's more my style of argumentation than your guys's. I get that. But I think he's the best player we've ever seen. I do think resumes and accomplishments have to weigh a ton. And so Brady gets to be called the GOAT. I think that if they pull off the three-peat, you can, and someone wants to say he's now the greatest of all time, it's at least an allowed opinion. Right now, it's not an allowed opinion, but that to me is a big enough accomplishment it would be. For me to say it as passionately and clearly and articulately and really brilliantly as I've said the LeBron's the greatest player of all time, I think if he does the three-peat, one more Super Bowl, and it's a wrap, plus an MVP. One more great regular season, plus another Super Bowl, and it'd be him. If they don't do the three-peat, he probably has to get to 6.
Okay.
Probably, or I think he probably has to get to 6.
This is big.
A lot on the table.
This three-peat is big.
Huge.
Yeah.
And
this is it is after you walked into Bucks Chiefs. And listen, that game, it actually kind of gives me solace because it was such a blowout. Because if that was a close game and I was sitting here thinking like, man, it would be 6-4 right now with Mahomes having the head-to-head victory with a chance for, like, if they had won that game, it would be maybe already the opinion.
Right.
And if not, certainly one game away, but they got rolled. So such is life.
Yeah. And now the three-peat. All right, so you're obviously, going around, I feel like you're the number one Chiefs fan right now. What's your favorite stat that you just show up to people and you're like, hey, did you know this? Because I would imagine you have a lot of them when it comes to Mahomes or Reed or even Kelsey, where you're just throwing at people.
You want like a fire hose of them?
Yeah,
there's
go ahead.
so many to choose from.
Yeah, give it to us.
Thanks to that Bills game, Patrick Mahomes now has trailed in 53 fourth quarters in his career, which sounds like a lot, but that's every single loss. It's not going into the fourth; it's at any point. Mm-hmm. He has a winning record in those games. In games he's trailed in the fourth quarter, he's 27-26. Nobody else has won more than 37% of their games. In the playoffs, you mentioned this Josh DeBose stat. He's trailed in the fourth quarter 9 times. They've won 6 of those. He's 6-3, and so he's played 20 career playoff games, 11 easy wins, 9 times trailing in the fourth, 6 victories, 1 overtime loss where he never got the ball, but the NFL didn't change the rules because of it, because we're not the Bills. Another overtime loss against the Bengals where he didn't come through, and then down 31-9 entering the fourth against the Bucs blowout. Mahomes, there was another, you said it. He scored on 13 of 14 of those drives.
Yep.
The Mahomes already has won more playoff games when his defense allows more than 28 points than any player in league history. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning combined won 4 playoff games in their entire careers when their defense allowed more than 28 points.
That's pretty crazy.
Maybe he shouldn't score so quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe he shouldn't give the ball back to his opponent. Maybe he shouldn't just throw these 70-yard touchdowns to Tyreek Hill.
Well, luckily
turn the
he
ball
doesn't
over.
anymore. I think that Mahomes, the one time he didn't come through was the overtime, the second half against the Bengals. That game ended, or his last time touching the ball was a perfectly thrown pass on 3rd and long to Tyreek Hill, but it was in double coverage. It was a risky ball, but it was perfectly thrown. Went off Tyreek's hands, and then it was picked, and they lost. Since then, in the playoffs, Mahomes has 1 turnover-worthy pass. Since he lost a playoff game throwing a risky pass, he has made 0. Well, I shouldn't say 0 because he threw the pick in the Super Bowl and he fumbled here. But those are the only 2 turnovers, and he's only thrown 1 ball really in jeopardy. And so I think he is such a different caliber of clutch athlete that his ability to diagnose exactly the style of game of play it would take to win a particular game and be able to play that exact style is unlike any quarterback I've ever seen other than late stage Tom Brady. And where Brady deserves all the credit in the world is he was at his kind of physical best late in his career, and then also had all the institutional knowledge, which is why he was so dominant, into his 40s.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy to watch. He thinks the game better than anyone. You can see it when you're watching it, and it's really just, I say it over and over, going back to the Chief derangement and everyone talking about the flags and everything. The reason why the flags always feel more consequential is the Chiefs, if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. That is what a championship team does. If you make a mistake with them, they will capitalize, and that's what they do, and that's why it feels more significant sometimes, and that's the specialness of Mahomes and Andy Reid and Chris Jones. Okay, quick break from Nick Wright. Does everybody know what season it is?
It is soup season.
Hockey season. It's hockey and soup season, but it's also tax season. And Hank, you know about tax season. How are you feeling about it this year?
I feel great about tax season this year. We've been talking about it a lot, getting older, getting more mature. And one thing that's helped me a lot and made me feel a lot older and more mature is getting ahead of my taxes, not waiting till the last minute and doing them, rushing through, being stressed out. Instead, get ahead. And our partners at Tax Act are the perfect place to go. They have They make filing super easy with step-by-step guidance. They have expert assist available to answer all of your questions. Meme has actually heard us do these ads, and he said, can I get involved in TaxAct? I said, absolutely. I showed him the step-by-step process. It's super easy to use. And now Memes is getting ahead of the games as well. Every tax expert is based in the U.S. You'll talk to a credentialed tax expert, an EA, a CPA, or a tax attorney. So go to taxact.com. Check it out for yourself. They have different levels depending on the different types of assistance you need. And all you have to do to check it out for yourself is go to taxact.com. Again, it may feel like taxes are coming, forever. You have a long time. You don't. You want to get ahead of it. Just go to taxact.com. Check it out for yourself. Get ahead. Stay ahead.
Before you go, PFT, can I give you one more stat that is not a Patrick Mahomes stat, but it is?
Mm-hmm.
George Karlaftis has more playoff sacks than Lawrence Taylor, Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt, Derek Thomas. And that's a Patrick Mahomes stat.
Right.
It's because George Karlaftis has just spent his entire career in the playoffs. So now he's already in the top 30 all time in postseason sacks.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a very impressive stat. You can go all day with these Mahomes stats because he's been so great for so long that you can point to a lot of things and say, this guy's the best, but you will always be the second biggest Patrick Mahomes fan in the world because Dylan Raiola exists. Have you thought about maybe cutting the hair, wearing the turtleneck thing, like modeling your entire life after Mahomes?
So here's the thing. The Raiola thing, because he has a relationship with Patrick, and so Patrick's fine with it. So it doesn't, I think a lot of people were more bothered by it or found it more cringeworthy maybe than Patrick did. But what I would say is this: got to play better, kid. Like when it was like this guy might win the Heisman, I was like, this is sick. But when he went in that slump, I'm like, nah, that's not cool. Like you can't. I feel like if PFT commenter, if your career had really gone askew and you were like on InfoWars or whatever, then I feel like maybe Florio would have been like, change the branding, buddy.
What do you mean?
But because you became you, it ended up being great for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome though. If I was doing info scores for Alex Jones, then that should be called What's Right. That would be the name of my show.
Yeah.
Your podcast should actually be What's Wrong, and then you just admit all the stuff that you were wrong about.
Yeah.
So the only long form profile ever written of me was in Kansas City. There were a couple alt weeklies, like what the Village Voice was for New York or whatever, called Pitch and Ink. And one of them wrote, this guy spent a week with me when I was 26 and spent a week with me, my family, went out with us, all of us. And I thought it was going to be this glowing piece about how, this kid from Kansas City who was on the second-rate radio station in town was trying to take down the Heritage station and in a quest to one day become America's biggest sports talk host. That was how I thought the article was going to be written. Instead, the cover of this paper is me with pointy fingers, shaved head, my nose at the worst angle imaginable, pointing at the microphone, and the headline blazed, "What's wrong with Nick Wright?" And it is 15,000 words about how this kid whose radio show is in 17th place is delusional and just saying, I'm going to beat this guy, then beat that guy, then get this job. And the whole premise of the article is that there's a crazy person on the radio in Kansas City, and it's called What's Wrong with Nick Wright.
Oh, my God.
That's great bulletin board material, though.
That is.
Oh, I have it in my office. I don't have it up here, but I have it up where I watch football. I have it framed in my office.
Oh, you got a football office. I love that. Hey,
I've got a good TV setup. That's a big fight with the wife is how much real estate in the house goes to 20 Sundays a year of just a wall of televisions. But you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I have way too many TVs in my house. All right, so question just about how you do your job every day. Because, again, I think you are very, very talented. I know you agitate people, but that also is what happens when you win. But do you ever send like when you're sucking off Patrick Mahomes so hard, do you ever send him like a clip and being like, "Look what I did today at work"? Like,
honey,
did you love it?
No, I've never. Okay, first of all, never maybe in that language, but you're the second person that's asked me that question. Like, do you ever send LeBron or Mahomes clips of you talking about?
And answer the question.
And I think that's such an absurd idea. Like, evidently it's a thing. It must be a thing people think might happen because you're the second person to ask me that. But I just can't fathom, like, me waxing poetic about Mahomes in the AFC Championship game, then, copy link, text Patrick like, "Hey, did you see this today, buddy?" No, I've never done that. Now, as far as, us copying or, each other, I will say this. Before the football season, last year, obviously, got the Never a Doubt tattoo.
Oh.
And Patrick Mahomes, who rarely, if ever, tweets, 45 minutes after winning the Super Bowl, sent out his first tweet of the playoffs, a picture of him holding both trophies with only a 3-word caption, "Never a Doubt." So if you're asking me, like, do I think my show is regularly on in the facility? Well, why wouldn't it be? It's just a compliment fest.
Yeah.
Like, I think that if there was a TV show that you had a reliable, good chance that if you turned it on, they were just going to be like, "And here's reason 68 why PFT and Big Cat are the greatest that ever existed." You'd probably have it on in the background.
I'd probably watch it
somewhat often.
But it would be nice if occasionally Mahomes or LeBron would say, just on their own, "Hey, Nick," like if they defended you the same way that you defended them. If somebody's dunking on you online and LeBron steps in, he's like, "Hey, my man Nick makes some really great points here. You got to say, you did it again, Nick." Nick is now 98-2 going up against Kyle in these debates in overtime.
You know what? That's a good point.
Yeah.
It should be more of a, two-way street. And I've never really, I've never thought of it that way, but I feel, listen, I'm just out here, they're like, "Oh, Nick, you're a Chiefs apologist." And first of all, it's nothing to fucking apologize for. They win every Super Bowl. Second of all, I'm not an apologist for anything. I'm a truth teller. Like, people used to call me a Bills hater. And then this year, when everyone idiotically was like, "I like what the Jets are building," or "It's the Dolphins year," I'm like, no, the Bills are going to be where the Bills always are, looking awesome, tricking the media into thinking this is the year they beat the Chiefs and then losing in heartbreaking fashion, probably in the conference championship game.
Not a Bills hater.
Say it again.
Not a
what's
Bills
that?
hater. That last sentence, not a Bills hater.
No, I'm a truth teller. I'm a truth teller.
The most honest people always
as
remind
right as I've
themselves,
been about the Chiefs,
Yeah.
I have been more right about the Bills the last 5 years. I called them overrated when they were. I called them underrated when they were. I've never missed on the Bills, ever.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the Birds? What about the Eagles? It sounded earlier like you were looking down your nose on the Eagles.
Yeah, you've been talking junk about Howie. You did.
I mean,
you did. I saw your clip where you're like, Howie Roseman basically goes on the message boards and drafts all the players from Georgia.
I basically got every Eagles take wrong.
Yeah, you were way wrong.
Record. I said, "Hey, Howie, maybe, draft kids other than Georgia kids and who the mock drafts want you to take." Turns out, maybe that's just what everyone should do.
Yep.
Just follow the mocks. I said, and I quote, "Saquon Barkley won't be a difference maker." He then had maybe the greatest single season a running back's ever had.
Yep.
And I had the Commanders finishing second in the NFC East, which sounds great, but it's not second to the Eagles. It was second to the Cowboys with the Eagles coming in third. No, I whiffed as big as someone can whiff on the Eagles, and I just have to own that. I thought that the collapse at the end of last season was not, they weren't going to be able to get over it. And I looked at both the big running back acquisitions, Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, as, man, those teams were awesome at running anyway.
Yeah.
Like, why is that where you're spending your resources? And I was just as wrong as you could be. And so now we get, listen, they get nobody looks at it this way, but they denied a three-peat already. Yep. Because the Patriots won 16-18 and were in the Super Bowl in 17, lost to Nick Foles, it didn't feel like denying a three-peat because it wasn't at the end. So they have a chance to do it again. And if Jalen Hurts in these next 2 weeks can learn to throw like Nick Foles, they might be able to win.
Oh, all right. So Max, our producer, is a diehard Eagles fan. Max,
Yeah,
you have anything to
Maze.
say to Nick Wright? Obviously, he's on your shit list. He has to be.
Yeah, no, I was trying to think of why he was on my shit list this entire time. I couldn't quite remember. I mean, he said a lot of things about the Eagles this year.
Yeah, but the Howie Roseman part, I remember that clip where he's like, Howie Roseman just takes anyone who's on the mock draft, and then the media.
Yeah, they say
sucks him off.
he's a Twitter GM.
Yeah, that
he-
one was wrong.
Well,
No,
I mean, he's made some pretty good moves.
Yeah.
I got it wrong. And shout out to Max. Personal growth is important. You listen to my whole Eagles thing. You didn't have to take a mental health lap like you did with Big Cat a few weeks ago. So that's all good. Like I think it's all.
No, that's true. That's growth.
It is growth. And I see that fathead of Jalen Hurts behind you. I assume that's moments before he scans the field, sees open receivers, and then decides to tuck and run.
You could have gone even hurt. Like, I think Jalen Hurts, I saw a stat, is like 25% of his throws this year have been throwaways. That's the big Jalen Hurts. Just scanning the field and then throwing it, 10 feet into the stands.
What do we make? Can I ask a question? What do we make of the straitjacket comment? Why do the Eagles, when everything is going well, decide to meet with the media and just be like, let's create? 6 weeks ago, the only story around the Eagles was Vic Fangio transformed the defense. Saquon's going to break Eric Dickerson's record. And then A.J. Brown's like, passing sucks. We got to get better at it. And everyone freaks out. And then everything's seemingly fine. And they're winning a playoff game. And A.J. Brown's like, now's the time for me to break out this book. And I've got to listen to Eagles fans be like, he does it all the time. I'm like, well, it's literally never been caught on video on the sideline ever. And the Eagles a lot of their games are on TV. And then this week, Jalen Hurts is like, finally took the straitjacket off me, which again, not to be too psychological, handcuffs are used to prevent you from harming others. Straitjacket is if they're worried you're going to harm yourself. So the deep-seated psychology of it is my coach thinks that I'm going to hurt our team. So he tries to prevent it. And so listen, don't worry. I'm sure that despite all that, Nick Sirianni's going to outfox Andy Reid in these 10 days and get it all taken care of.
Max?
Not worried about that at all.
Max?
Well, there was a picture of A.J. Brown reading Inner Excellence in the Commanders game when he had 98 yards and 15 targets.
Not a video from the game.
Well, I stopped listening when he said there was no photographic evidence of him reading
I said
the
video.
book.
Check the tape, my friend.
Nick,
That's tomato.
Nick just basically was like, your quarterback is worried about hurting himself and he needs a straitjacket, and you're like, yeah, but the A.J. Brown point, you're wrong.
Well, I mean that was the first thing that came to my mind. I mean, how am I'm not going to win this fight. I don't know how to battle here.
No, you're not.
I don't fight with any logic.
So go ahead, fight him with no logic. Tell him that he's an idiot. Tell him that Philly's the best.
Jalen Hurts coming off his best game of the year, and then the last time he had his best game ever was against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So there's no reason to believe that he can't do it again.
What happened in that game?
Listen, the best game
But our
Jalen
defense
Hurts
is better
has
this
ever
year.
played-
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't. The best game Jalen Hurts ever played is that Super Bowl game. And I would argue it is the single best game any player has ever played that also included them making the play that lost their team the game. I think it is the I think of all the games where one guy made a totally unforced catastrophic error that cost his team a championship, he played the best in that game.
It's got to be so awesome to me, Nick, because that was another Mahomes stat that Max just gave you. He's like, he played the best game he's ever played in his life. You're like, yeah, that's the best quarterback performance I've ever seen, ever. And the Chiefs beat him.
It was a good performance. He shouldn't have fumbled. It was a second quarter fumble.
Yeah.
No, I'm being unfair, and I actually think that fumble was probably a little overrated. It was 3rd and 6 anyway. If he just gets stuffed, they're going to punt. Obviously, the Chiefs are going to score because they're the Chiefs.
And you know, Max, like the reason, or Nick, the reason why I have Max around is like it's like softball practice for us, and you can see that in like 2 seconds. You're like, oh, you guys are just keeping him around so you could just do a little slow pitch.
I wish you guys had me on at some point if the Steelers somehow ever played in a game that mattered, because I'd much rather argue with that idiot Steeler fan who a couple years ago sent a really, what's the word? Off-color, I'll say, tweet, either about me and my wife or about me and someone, but it was me.
Jerry.
It was the what's the stupid Tom Green college movie?
Freddie Got Fingered.
Yeah.
No, not that one. The good one. The
Road Trip. Or the one. Was it Road Trip?
Road Trip.
Yeah, it was Road Trip.
Yeah, Road Trip.
Road Trip. You know the skinny nerdy white guy that is in bed. For some reason sent that picture out and said, "Live look at Get Nick Wright."
Oh, no,
and I'm like,
Jerry.
I don't know if that's about me or about my wife, whatever it is. But I really actively dislike that person.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. I know he's an idiot.
It's
and I know you guys torture him and make him try to hit hole-in-ones and stupid
no, that's
bullshit.
his own doing. Jerry goes a little too hard, and we have to. We've put some guardrails in since. There's been times where I've had to clear tweets, and he, listen, we've worked on that. We've looked in the mirror. If it helps at all, Jerry was addicted to crack for a lot of years.
Really?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's actually a great story. Like, he helps a lot of people. So, but yeah, that one, I'll say Jerry went too far.
So the point I'm making is I have nothing against Max, and I actually think he's. Here it is. So I got it wrong. I got the story wrong. I'm gonna text to you what he did.
Okay.
Here it is. I
I've
just found it.
Listen, whatever you text me is not even in the top 10 worst tweets that Jerry sent.
Oh, I'm sure, but regardless, it pissed me off because I never came for this idiot.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's totally fair.
And so I
Oh my God,
I sent out a
Jerry.
picture of me and my wife out celebrating something, and he reposted it with the Malibu Most Wanted thing, or whatever that was. I don't know what it was, but it made me mad. So Max, this isn't for you.
You probably said one mean thing, not even mean thing. You probably just said one thing that he viewed as negative about TJ Watt, and then he went nuclear. That's all it takes for him. Literally, that's all it takes.
You might have said Myles Garrett is a better player than TJ Watt.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
You probably gave Myles Garrett the Defensive Player of the Year, and he went absolutely nuclear because that's how he's wired.
How's he gonna deal when they trade TJ Watt for a first and a third?
We've done a little trial balloon with him, and it has not gone well. So, and I'll apologize for Jerry. Jerry's a very sweet guy. He does go too hard on Twitter. If you guys ever met, I think you'd get along. But he does that. He'll be the first to admit he had to put that. They have a timer on Twitter where it's like a minute timer to make sure you want to tweet it. He had to put that on his Twitter because he had so many incidents.
You know what?
Yeah,
and I didn't know the trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
Let's have something good come of this. Hands washed of it.
Okay,
all good.
okay,
Clean
great.
slate.
Love that. And it's
Clean
not
slate. 'Cause
excusing
I
his-
trust you guys. If you say he's a good guy, I trust it. We all kind of get angry on Twitter sometimes.
Yeah, he's got a good heart. And the crack stuff doesn't excuse tweeting mean things to people. I'm just saying Jerry does do a lot of good things for people now in recovery and all that stuff. This has been awesome, Nick. We should have you on more often. You're so much fun to talk to. So give us a final score for the Super Bowl. I showed you I have a future to win $100,000 on the Eagles. You told me to cash out.
I said I never, ever cash out bets. In fact, very quick anecdote, and then I'll let you go and I'll try to give you a final score. So Kevin Wildes, who is just the best person in the world to work with, he's not a gambler at all, but he bets like $1 or $2. And his first game of the day of the NFL season, he let his sons pick all of the Sunday slate straight winners, $1, and hit it. But he's also a big cash out guy. Like the moment it shows a 10% profit, he'll click cash out. So he and I have a deal now where I told him, anytime you want to cash out, screenshot, text me, I'll auto pay it. But if it wins, I get it. Because I want to be the house in
You're
that.
buying his ticket.
Because cashing out is never the right option.
Never.
Unless, of course, you have $100,000 that is predicated on the Chiefs losing a football game, in which
Yeah.
case you should definitely cash out.
Yeah, and
You
I told you I bet the Chiefs last year in the Super Bowl, and it was one of the most fun experiences because I just sat there being like half the gambling cave had Brock Purdy, and I was just like, oh, I got
that's
Mahomes.
dumb.
Yeah, like I got Mahomes here. This is gonna be
Then
fun.
I spent a year thinking about how Kyle Shanahan messed up the new overtime rules.
Yeah,
And that's the reason why I lost all my money.
yeah.
All right, so here's the thing. The producers of the TV show, because we're going to be down in New Orleans and we're trying to, build stuff or whatever, asked me yesterday. They're like, hey, need a final score for the game because we're going to, build something for a reveal. I was like, well, I don't have that yet.
Oh.
And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you think I'm just going to willy-nilly you come up? I gotta deep dive. I got to review the all 22. Now listen, I think I'm going to pick the Chiefs. I'm not even sure yet. I got to really review the information. But I'm leaning towards 34-24.
Okay.
Leaning.
Okay. That would be
But
the over.
but that's, write that in pencil.
No,
not in
I'm
pen.
going to bet
All
this.
right, so-
You should do like Lee Corso does in College Game Day and put the mascot head on, and it's the paintball mask and the cap the Chiefsaholic wore.
that would be fun.
Did you watch that documentary?
Believe it or not, I have not.
Or you're featured?
I've not watched
You're
the
featured in
Chiefsaholic
it.
doc
You're
a little bit.
featured in
Yeah.
it. All right, so
I'm featured in it?
Well, yeah, they take pretty much every podcast clip in America that's been talking about the Chiefs. I think we were on it for about a second when we told our old friend Billy to go try to track down Chiefsaholic.
yeah,
when
yeah.
he was on the
so
line.
we were in it as well. All right,
Yeah.
so everyone do watch First Things First. Also, do subscribe to What's Right.
I love you guys. And in all seriousness, not only congrats, one moment of genuineness. I appreciate the direction you guys have gradually pushed some others in sports media of everything that it is supposed to be fun, and it doesn't always have to be so life or death. And so I think you guys are great, and I appreciate you having me on. And I'll come on whenever. I'll talk to you guys.
Yeah,
later.
no, this has been a lot of fun, and good luck to your Chiefs. I'm not going to cash out. I'm not going to cash out. I can't cash
No,
out.
of course.
It's not.
No, you can't. No, you would. It wouldn't be fun watching the game.
Right.
The only real way to make the cash out, and this is the only thing I'll say, for the cash out to be an option, you would have to cash out and put the full amount on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It has to be a 100K winner one way or another.
Right.
And so if you were like but you can't just cash out and take it and not have big action on the Super Bowl, obviously.
Right. And it's not like last time the Chiefs played the Eagles, I actually had a chance to win 200K, and the Eagles were up 10 at halftime, and
Yeah.
so I'll be fine. It's going to be
You'll
fine.
be fine.
It's going to be
No
fine.
problem.
34-24.
Congrats, by the way. We'll say it right now. We've done this every single year for, I think, 6 or 7 years in a row. Congrats on the Kansas City Chiefs winning the AFC West in 2025. We're the first to report it.
Thank you.
Yep.
We are the first to report it. We've been reporting it around this time every single year. Congratulations on another AFC West title.
The Chargers, this is their year. See you guys.
Nick Wright was brought to you by Pardon My Cheesesteak. Ordering Pardon My Cheesesteak for your game day meal or late night eats is the best play call you can make. And now through the end of the football season, get free delivery on Pardon My Cheesesteak by using promo code AWL. We've got so many great cheesesteaks on there. I like to secret shop our cheesesteaks. I like to get them about once a month delivered to my house, and they never disappoint me. I love the classic cheesesteak. I love the chicken bacon ranch cheesesteak. You can order the popular Big Cat combo. Get your choice of cheesesteak, fries, and a drink. Comes with melted provolone, thin sliced steak, mouth-watering cheese sauce, and caramelized onions on a toasted hoagie roll. Go to pardonmycheesesteak.com to order with promo code AWL for free delivery. Fyre Fest is being brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, the fee is free unless you win. There's a massive reason why coffee is the first thing people reach for in the morning, just like there's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people just like you and I. They have over 100 offices and more than 1,000 lawyers nationwide. When hiring Morgan & Morgan, it's like hiring an army that has your back. If you're injured by the negligence of another, you deserve to be paid. When you hire the wrong law firm, you may be beat before you start. All law firms are not the same. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/PMT or dial #law, #529 from your cell phone. That's forthepeople.com/PMT or dial #law, #529 from your cell.
Okay, let's do Fyre Fest of the week. By the way, we had some breaking news. We recorded some of the show in the morning. Breaking news. Justin Tucker might be in some shit.
Yeah, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. He was allegedly on his Deshaun grind.
Yeah.
The dates are interesting because it says that the experiences he was having at the Baltimore area massage parlors stopped in about 2019.
Oh, is that it? I
that's-
wasn't able to read the whole thing.
That's like right when the Deshaun stuff came out. Maybe it was like the block's too hot. But it's 6 different masseuses who are accusing him of being inappropriate, nutting on the table, exposing himself, et cetera, and his statement that he put out, which he denies everything.
Okay.
He says that it's a newspaper with an axe to grind.
Okay.
And when he first learned of this article, he was trying to get more information. They only gave him like 5 minutes to respond before they published. So he's denying everything, but there's no charges being pressed, either civil or criminal. So right now it's an article.
Okay.
So we don't know.
Okay.
But if true,
Why would they
guy.
accuse him with no charges?
because the newspaper can write an article and be like, we've talked to these women, here's what they say happened. Even though there's nothing in court, they can still tell that story if they believe it's true.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. If true, pervert.
Bad.
For a kicker, even a pervert.
A kicker. The jizz puddle.
Yeah.
Okay, Hank, your Fyre Fest.
I don't really have. I'm good week. Good week. Case race was fun. Obviously, the anxiety of getting blackout drunk with your coworkers and then waking up the next day and realizing that it was all taped and that you don't remember a lot of it is not fun anxiety, I would say. But other than that, pretty good week.
Yeah, we had a pause thing on Wednesday morning. Very bad planning, but shout out Pause Chicago. We dropped off the check for Stella Blue Coffee. We did some volunteering. Hank was scheduled to do it. Before the case race started, I told him, I was like, dude, you don't have to come. It's not a big deal. We have more than enough people. And when I got home from the case race, hammered, Hank texted me at midnight and was like, dude, I can't get my face makeup off. I'm going to have to cancel for tomorrow.
There was a lot.
I was just like, I already said it's okay. He was just in his field.
It would have scared the dogs.
Yeah. It would have scared the dogs. But yeah, watch the Yak case race if you're a Max fan or a Max hater.
Please don't watch.
Watch the case race.
Please don't watch.
Noon Central on the Yak YouTube.
I did exactly what I thought I was going to do. And
No,
it's
you
so-
didn't.
And it's so bad.
Max was on a word count.
Oh man.
I should have. I need.
Yeah. Birds.
Bird up.
I think people will enjoy the Max experience because I know that I had tears in my eyes multiple times.
I'm officially retired from case races.
That's
That's what I say.
Unfortunately,
every time,
that's not something you can retire from. When your number's called, you show up, and the next one is going to be in the summer Royal Rumble, and so yeah, you'll be there.
If you want to see Max getting physical, tune into the case race.
Yeah, listen, I've said this before, but the case race is essentially childbirth, just as painful. We do it, everyone regrets it, and they're like, "That was miserable, terrible hangover. Don't want to watch myself drunk." And then 6 months go by, and you're like, "Oh, you know, it'd be fun, a case race."
Yeah, I was looking at my wall of pictures and thinking about what if we had another one on the wall.
Yeah,
And I don't want to get there, but I want to have it done.
yeah. So we'll come June, July, Royal Rumble time. We'll all be ready to go. Okay, PFT.
So my Fyre Fest was all my clothes got stolen.
Yep.
Which I talked about on Wednesday's show. But in addition to that Fyre Fest, I am basically out of clothes now, but I did have clothes arriving at my house that I'd ordered ahead of time that happened to show up after my stuff was stolen. It also just so happens that it's all Washington Commanders stuff that I tried to buy before the NFC Championship game, and they showed up the day after the NFC Championship game. So now I'm just wearing a Mike Sanders jersey today because it was the only clean shirt that I had. I've got a sweet new Commanders jacket that I'm wearing too.
So you're gonna be at Super Bowl week in NOLA. You're gonna be like the random Kansas or Duke fan when they're not in the Final Four.
Yeah.
But they had already booked their tickets.
Well, for me, a Commanders fan, Piquet doesn't get this, Hank, like me and you do. But our season doesn't start until the championship game, and so I kind of penciled myself into the Super Bowl.
yeah. What are you gonna say?
I have something else for you.
Uh-oh.
I got sent a box of Commanders merch on Monday. I didn't have the heart to give it to you.
So now I have new clothes.
Yeah, you have more clothes.
Is
Okay.
it championship?
It says like anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Yeah, that was our team motto.
Correct.
Still is.
Still is.
Well, the Eagles at 2 p.m. in Philly.
We played you. We showed up.
that is correct.
We will play anybody.
That is correct.
The motto is not we will beat anybody anytime, anywhere. It's,
True.
We will
True.
play
Yeah.
anybody
That's on me. That's on
anytime.
me.
Actually,
anywhere.
that's my motto too. When it comes to NFL football, if any NFL football teams want to schedule me, I'll play them.
Yeah. Bring it.
Yeah,
It's also
PFT is a podcast. We will play any NFL football team as long as it's a scheduled NFL game on a Sunday in the fall.
I got
what?
some tape coming out.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
got some tape coming
It's
out.
it's a motto for our podcast just in terms of watching football.
Yeah,
Anybody, anytime, anywhere.
We'll
if you're an
watch.
NFL team, I will watch you play football.
we will watch. Okay, my Fyre Fest. I mean, we've already talked about PFT and I turning 40. That sucks. I did get some presents this morning, but my kids demanded to open it themselves. That was also. Oh, I guess it's a reverse Fyre Fest. My daughter did wish me happy birthday this year. I remember last year she abstained. She knew it was my birthday. She just was like, I'm not going to do it. I kind of respected the hell out of that. She was actually number one today. She came into my room and said, happy birthday.
It's
Daddy."
very cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to make this about myself, but you guys turning 40 is affecting me pretty hard, more than I thought.
Yeah. In what way?
It just makes me feel really old.
That we're old.
Yeah.
Yeah, we feel old when
Like
you get
being
old.
with
Hank.
you guys when we turn 30.
No, but that's the same for us. When you turn 30, me and Big Cat were like, fuck.
I know. It's crazy. We're old.
Yeah.
What can we do to stop getting old?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Guys
shit.
tweeting the video of me for my 30th birthday being like, what a decade. And it's like, shit.
I know.
It was a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you want us to do, Hank? We just got to be not old? I'm sorry that our birthdays are making you feel bad.
I know. I appreciate it. Apology accepted.
Okay.
It's a good thing we're getting a 12-year-old intern.
Yep. 9. Keep going down.
I want an intern that can't walk.
We're getting a newborn. By
Yeah.
the way.
We're going to raise a newborn.
It's our podcast
It's like
baby.
a frat house
That
dog.
was Memes' idea. Memes was like, why don't we just adopt a child?
I mean, he's done a great job, Mr. Pear.
Yeah, true. Mr. Pear is probably our longest living pet.
Do you think Mr. Pear's depressed?
Yeah.
No. Mr. Pear's been in hibernation. I bought a tortoise that hibernates.
Okay, so
Probably bad idea
During football season.
So your tortoise is not depressed, but it's sleeping all day. It's lost interest in everything.
Yes, I have a plan for next football season, though.
To stimulate it?
Uh-oh. How are you going to stimulate
I have a
it?
plan.
Okay.
I can't tell you the plan, but there is. a
Why?
plan.
Because Mr. Pear might hear? Whoa. Who we keeping the plan from, Memes?
It's a plan. You guys can't know the plan.
Okay.
What is going on?
I don't know. He's been Googling.
Memes
some
has been
weird
on
shit.
a weird. He gets weird vibes of the week award. I don't know what he's planning, what he's doing.
He's just excited for New Orleans.
Yeah, Super Bowl week. It's gonna be all about the Eagles, all about Max.
I wish I could have.
He's just never in a good mood. I don't want to poo-poo him though, because like I'd rather him be in a good mood.
True.
But it is.
It's off-putting.
Yeah. It's just not normal.
He just loves New Orleans. He's been talking about like New Orleans is his favorite city in the world.
Yep.
And since he found out that this Super Bowl was in New Orleans, he's been talking about this week for
3
the past
years
6
ago.
months.
Yeah, I had marked on the calendar. I was like, don't let the pip get you before New Orleans.
He actually did say that. He's like, as long as I make it to New Orleans.
Where's the Super Bowl next year?
San Francisco. Then LA.
What?
Oh, Aaron Rodgers' homecoming next year for the Super Bowl memes.
Should we just put Max in the cover art for the whole week?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We don't need to be on it.
No.
Let me and Big
People-
Cat produce.
People are already sick of me.
Pardon Mac's take.
We did see there's at least one media outlet that wants to interview Max.
Yeah, we're gonna get you on Radio Row, buddy. We're gonna parade you around like a show pony. We're gonna get you tassels.
Look at my boy. Look how strong my boy
I have
is.
nothing to say.
Oh man,
Nothing noteworthy to say.
That's not true. Okay, numbers. Next stop, New Orleans.
40.
3.
11.
Fuck.
95.
Got you there, buddy.
I think this is Memes Day.
What do you mean, Memes Day?
Did somebody take 40?
I did.
Has he gotten it?
No, I think today's today.
Oh, okay.
Call my shot.
We got to move this thing back.
Memes, what's the number?
I'm thinking. You picked 8?
No.
Well, let's go 8.
$42.
Love you guys.